From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne.
Chase Elliott scores the win in the Ally 400 at the Nashville Superspeedway.
Nashville's exclusive home for NASCAR. 102.5 and 106.3.
Terang, it's a high fly ball.
We got pass rushers.
Awesome game.
Checkered flag in the air.
The game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Now let's see if we can bring them to life, all right?
Bringing you entertainment and informative sports talk during your workday.
Smart, funny, classy, and I like him a lot.
This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase with Chase McCabe, Willy Donick,
Mason, touchdown, Tennessee.
and former NFL wide receiver Derek Mason on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app.
This is a new level of geek you got going on here.
Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, streaming on the Game Nashville app. You can watch us on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and all of that, presented by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. Chase McCabe, Willy Donick, Derek Mason with you. We are live at Bridgestone Arena in our home, the Jack Daniels Barrel House. Preds Game Day presented by Social Furniture. Shop today to get rewarded with social cash back by $1,000. Get $125 cash back on your Social Furniture gift card. Shop local, shop social in West Nashville. Willy is wrapping up a call with Bally, so he'll join us here in just a second. You know, he's we should probably turn your mic on, shouldn't we? You know, that would probably be helpful, wouldn't it? This is good. We're off to a really good start. Because I don't even have you plugged in. This is good. We're just
Chase, this is great.
Yeah, this is awesome.
I think I'm gonna have to improvise a little bit.
Yeah, you're gonna have to
now.
use that for a second.
Yeah, for a second. Yeah. So, but yes, it's this is typically the start of the sports, week. Thursday, you have obviously we got hockey tonight.
Yes, we do.
We have Thursday night football. We got some college games that are going on.
The Bengals might win uniform of the
year.
year.
Yeah, those uniforms are nice, really, really nice. So we got football going on. I'm sure we got some college games or a few going on. There may even be, some JV football games going on, high school football games going on today.
Probably are.
Flag football games going on today. So this is what we call the start of the sport week right here.
Well, we're about to go into October.
Yeah.
Your mic should work now.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah. Look at that. I can talk. I can do it all.
Hey, man, you're multitasking. There's nothing wrong with that.
I am. But, yeah, I love October.
Uh-huh.
That's my favorite month. I think, there's the debate. Is it March? Is it October? Is it April? For me, it's October. It's just the best sports month because literally everything is starting or is underway. You'll have the NFL kind of in the heart of their season, college football, the NBA starting, the NHL starting. I'm a NASCAR guy. That's wrapping up their season. You mentioned baseball going into the playoffs.
Exactly.
So.
Did the Braves win yesterday? I saw they were lose. They were down 2-1.
They lost
to the Nationals.
They lost in extra innings.
Oh,
so not good there for them. Aaron Judge hits number 61 finally. And I texted you guys last night. I said, I have a topic with this that I want to get into, and we'll do that a little later in the show. But I'll go ahead and kind of give you the preview of it.
Uh-huh.
I don't understand why it took this long.
Hold on. You don't understand why it took him this long to hit 61 home runs?
And I'm not blaming him. I'm not blaming him for
it.
I
know what you mean.
I am blaming the fact that the pitchers didn't want to be the guy to do it. And, I need to go look exactly how many times he walked during this stretch. I think it was 34 plate appearances in between home runs. It's like, dude, go up there and just beat him. If you don't throw him garbage that, is going to be outside and you end up walking him, give him your best stuff.
Well, I guess it's just like anything else. If you have, say, a guy, Michael Strahan, he gets his sack, even though that last sack was just I don't know what to say. That was a gimme. Brett Favre basically gave him the sack. I guess just to get it over with. I guess they're friends or whatever. That right there, no. Compete. Make him earn the sack.
Yeah.
He didn't make him earn the sack. So typically, if you got situations like that in football, you try to get the ball released really quickly so that guy does it. It's one, you don't want him to get that last and final record-breaking sack on you, but then also you don't want him to sort of, wreck the game. So you got to do things so he's not involved in the game. Same way with Aaron Judge. I don't think they were purposely walking him, but he's a dominating hitter. So you got to try to pitch to him and make him reach for pitches, make him swing at pitches he wouldn't normally see. Why? Because he wants to get to that 61. He's not patient enough. But I understand what you're saying. Hey, listen, if you're because we've seen this before when Bonds was on his run, people deliberately walked him, deliberately. I don't think they did it in this case. They didn't want to pitch straight down. They didn't want to give him anything to hit.
Right.
But also, they wasn't trying to walk him on purpose. But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I just, throw him your best stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, throw him a strike.
Challenge him.
Go beat him.
Yeah.
Hey, if he hits your 99-mile-an-hour fastball, then he earned it. If he strikes out, then you earned it. So, I mean, that's just kind of how I look at it. But we'll get into that a little bit later. Also, the Czech Republic will allow the Predators and the Sharks to bring their Russian players into the country. So Jakub Trenin will get to play in Prague for the Predators as they're scheduled to leave for Switzerland tomorrow night after Game 2 against Tampa. And then, hard to believe, the regular season will start week from today, or a week from tomorrow in Prague when they play the San Jose Sharks. 2 games, back-to-backs on Friday and Saturday, which we'll have both of those here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. But good news that the Russian players can go play.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't realize, and you correct me if I'm wrong, because this may be the first year, that, the start of training camp in the beginning of the season is so quick.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's a little quicker for the Predators since they're playing abroad. But,
okay.
I mean, but this is on schedule. I mean, the season usually gets underway, second week of October.
Oh, wow.
So
it's like they really have no time to, the NBA, they have X amount of games in preseason. NFL has 3 games in the preseason. Baseball has their, training camps and everything else before they actually get into their season. And it seems like hockey just gets right back into it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how, without a lot of, and again, this is what they go through, so they understand it. Just to see how this team comes out with the new faces, how they start out the season.
Yeah, and look, I'm excited about it because, we've talked about the new additions to the Predators and, what they have accomplished in their careers. Nino Niederreiter and Ryan McDonough. I think this team is going to fly under the radar like they usually do, but I think they might shock some people. I'm not saying that necessarily they're going to go win the cup, but I think that they're a little bit better than maybe people think. I think that David Poyle's done a nice job in the offseason improving this roster, and they'll be able to compete. I mean, I see no reason why they can't be top 3 in this division. Obviously Colorado is the team to beat.
Exactly.
And they're going to stay that way. But, why couldn't they be second or third somewhere in there fighting with St. Louis? And I think Minnesota is going to regress. Winnipeg, I'm not really sure. We know Chicago's awful. So I feel like they're in a good position.
So you think they're the 3rd best team in the conference, in the division right now?
Yeah, and I mean, look, they could end up potentially being second.
Oh.
But I think St. Louis, might have that right now.
Okay.
But it's a long season. That's the thing. A lot can. A lot can happen.
Okay.
Look,
the ghosts are out.
Stuff. I walk in and like stuff's falling off the desk. I don't know what has happened. I don't know if somebody had a party with our desk, but the front of it is
Things
broken.
are just falling off.
Yeah, I don't know
goodness.
what's going on. So, but anyway, we'll have more Preds flavor. If you missed the Predators preview show last night, John Hines, David Poyle were on that. You'll hear a little bit of that as we go along. We'll talk to Bob Kravitz of The Athletic, get a look at the Colts, the Titans' opponent. We'll do that at 11 o'clock. Silly Underdog Picks at noon. Adam Sparks from Knoxville News Sentinel. We'll talk some balls with him at 1 o'clock. But coming up next, you asked this question in our group chat last night, and I want to start with this. Can the Titans generate enough pressure on Matt Ryan? Also, it looks like a key piece could be back in that department for the Titans. We will discuss that. Coming up next, it's Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
The college football season never stops. ESPN college football analyst Trevor Manich joins Stillman and Company every Tuesday at 4:30.
They've got to do what Nick Saban in Alabama has done so successfully over the last 10 years.
Presented by Houston Clinic Orthopedics on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, it's Mike from Newton Chevrolet Buick GMC. The weather's starting to get cooler, and you know what that means. It's time for football. I don't know about you, but I've been waiting all year for this. Did you know that the most overtimes ever played in a football game is 7? That's almost 3 full games. It's crazy. I can't imagine sitting there for that long. Here at Newton, we know your time is valuable, especially during football season. We have ways to keep you cheering for your team without sitting and waiting. If your car needs some work, you can schedule online anytime. You can drop your car off at your convenience, and we'll update you when it's ready. On top of that, if you're shopping for a new car, we have Newton Fast Pass. It's the fast and easy way to shop from home. You can walk through the entire process from your couch. We can even deliver the car to your home. So no more missing games. Watch them all. Visit NewtonChevroletBuickGMC.com to start shopping or schedule your service today.
Nothing makes one feel better than the ability to give to someone in need. You have the power to give the most important gift of all, the gift of life, with a donation of your blood. Supplies are desperately low in our area, and your help is needed. Blood Assurance is a nonprofit community blood center that supplies our Middle Tennessee area hospitals. Please find it in your heart to donate. Be someone's hero today. Go to bloodassurance.org to find a location or blood drive near you. That's bloodassurance.org. Give blood, give local, save lives with Blood Assurance.
In today's economy, employers and employees should be working together to create safe, good-paying jobs with no unnecessary government overreach. Right to work does not belong in the state constitution. Tennesseans, this voting season, vote no on Amendment 1. Visit TennesseeWorkersAlliance.org, paid for by the Nashville Building Trades.
Bob's Steak and Chop House is a renowned award-winning steakhouse in major cities across the U.S. Nashville is lucky to have a location here in downtown at the Omni Nashville Hotel. Fine dining is brought to a new level at Bob's with awards like the Wine Spectator Award 4 years in a row, TripAdvisor Certificate of Excellence 5 years in a row, and Open Tables Diner's Choice Award 6 years in a row. Fine dining at its best. Bob's Steak and Chop House, open Wednesday through Saturday, 5 to 10 p.m. in the Omni Nashville Hotel. Complimentary valet parking is always available.
Looking for a career with purpose or have that passion for youth development? Boys and Girls Clubs of Middle Tennessee provides a safe place where youth gain the tools to learn, lead, and reach their full potential. And that starts with you, offering competitive pay and free after-school care for employees. Learn more at bgcmt.org.
When Big Mobile charges you an arm and a leg, they're taking your money and your power. And your arm and leg. Boost Mobile gives your power back with an unlimited plan for $25 a month on one of America's largest 5G networks. We can't give you back your arm and your leg because we're not qualified surgeons. Unless you're an iguana who can grow limbs back. Switch to Boost and get an unlimited plan for $25 a month. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power. New customers only. One line, $25 per month with auto pay. Additional restrictions apply. See boostmobile.com for details.
We want to hear from you.
Thanks for taking the call.
Join the conversation. Call or text at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McCabe. Willie Donick will be along in just a second. Derek Mason here with you. He's got important things he's doing with Bally, getting ready for the season. So he is taking care of that. Again, we'll talk to Bob Kravitz of The Athletic, get a view from the Colts side of things coming up in just a little bit at 11 o'clock. But can the Titans generate enough pressure on Matt Ryan? And, D-Mace, we've discussed this of not having the pass rush because obviously Harold Landry out for the season. You've lost him. Bud Dupree was out last week. Now, Bud Dupree did practice yesterday, and I know he talked to some reporters, but looking at the Titans injury report, the fact that Bud Dupree was a full participant in practice with the hip injury, I think is huge for this pass rush. So if you have Bud Dupree back, that's certainly going to help you get pressure on Matt Ryan.
Exactly, it will. Last week, this team without Bud Dupree, I think they did a pretty good job at getting to Derek Carr and forcing him to throw errant passes or forcing him just to get happy feet and not be as comfortable in the pocket. And we didn't, going to the game, and that was the concern. Can they get pressure? Can they get sacks? Now, I think they got one sack, maybe two in the game, but I think, they were able to control pretty much the line of scrimmage. The Raiders didn't have any big plays running the football. They didn't do much offensively in the first half, even though they had opportunities. And they held up in the second half. I mean, they were not perfect, meaning the Titans defensive line, but they held up just enough so they can pull out a victory. So, you wonder now with another week, hopefully Bud Dupree is back. Can they generate pressure against the Indianapolis Colts, who, their offensive line they're sort of like the Titans' offensive line.
Yeah,
they're good in one aspect, and then the other they're not as good. This is a good pass blocking unit. They're not as great run blocking, and that was, that's kind of ironic because they love to run the football. But the Titans, on the flip side, they're a better run blocking team than they are a pass blocking team. And you understand why, because that's what they like to do. It's just, kind of ironic that the Indianapolis Colts are not as good run blocking, but they are a run team. But, if you put pressure, not necessarily blitzing Ryan, because Matt Ryan is completing 61% of his passes when you blitz him.
So why do you think that is?
Because
you shared that, and I thought that was an interesting stat.
Because what happens is you got to bring somebody out of the secondary, or you got to bring that linebacker down, which leaves a void space. He can find his open man.
Sure.
He's been in the game long enough. He's smart enough that he knows where the blitz is coming from. So he can hit his guy quickly to avoid the blitz. Some quarterbacks, that they're not that way. Why? Because they don't understand concepts and they don't understand where the blitz is coming from and where their hot man is. Matt Ryan understands that. He's been in the league a long time. He's been underneath center a long time. So when you blitz Matt Ryan, he will torch you. He's completing over 60% of his passes. But under pressure, he's only completing 37% of his passes, which means if you're able to get to him without bringing that extra man, he can't find his open guy. He gets a little happy feet. You start patting the ball. He throws errant passes. That's what that means to me, and it's going to be critical for the Titans to generate pressure without bringing that blitz. Because, again, if they bring that blitz, he's going to find an open guy, especially against the secondary this week.
I do feel like, though, that, even though you've seen Shane Bowen, draw up some blitzes, it's not like Dean Pease. Dean Pease was a blitzing machine.
Exactly.
And look, he was very good at it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had the personality. I remember Logan Ryan's last year here. How many sacks did he have? Because, like you just said, he'd bring in a defensive back. But to your point, I think it's got to be kind of your old school pass rush, and that's using Bud Dupree. That's using Danico Autry even, trying to pull him to the outside. Now, one thing that I thought about, and I heard Jared and Caroline talking about this yesterday, to compensate, Rashad Weaver's done a fine job filling in, but he's still a young player, still learning. And Jared kind of threw out, if you brought Danico Autry to the outside because he can play that, are you, one, taking a player, and I'll use the Madden ratings. Let's say Danico Autry at his current position is an 80, but you pull him out to the outside and it drops him down to a 75. Well, then that hurts, Simmons that's in the middle that's used to having Autry. So is it kind of a trickle-down effect if you're moving too many pieces around to try and compensate for what you're missing on the outside?
I think it can be, because it's just like hockey.
Yeah.
You have two guys that play well together, and you see the production together. But maybe because of injury, you got to sort of move people around. So those two or three guys that work great together, now you got to break them up, because now you got to balance out your lines. Well, now you see it's affecting all three of them, because now they're better as a group. It's sort of like Voltron. They're better together than they are apart, So it's just like with the Titans defensive line. It's better when all of them are apart and they're all playing together. Simmons playing next to Danico Autry. That works perfectly for what the Tennessee Titans do. Harold Landry on the outside, on one side. Dupree on the other side. They work well together. Now when you got to start moving pieces and adding guys in, it might not work as well starting off, because those guys are getting used to one another. Then eventually you hope that down the line they start to figure one another out, they trust one another, and they play off one another.
Yeah, and that's – look, I feel like as Rashad Weaver gets more experience under his belt, he's going to be able to do even more, going to be able to contribute in different ways. Again, I like him as a player. I liked him coming out of Pittsburgh. We got to talk to him a few weeks ago. Seems like a good kid with a good head on his shoulders, but they have to figure out how to pressure without sacrificing in other areas, like you were talking about, bringing that secondary in, because as we know, the secondary is the weak link right now for the Titans defense.
Exactly. They're young, they're inexperienced, and they're hurt right now.
Right.
And listen, we went over the whole thing, because of
Christian Fulton was limited yesterday with a knee.
That's another situation, you playing on that turf, so it's a little bit harder on your body. I wonder how he will look, or if he's a game time decision, moving forward. I know he's always going. I'm sure he's going to be questionable this game because of the hamstring and out a knee. But I have no doubt that he will play. But how effective will he be on that turf, and will he be able to go the whole game? But this team they have the three things that you can't have, especially at a position like that. They have no depth, no experience, and they're hurt.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's not good, especially when you're going against a team. Even though Indianapolis don't have this, juggernaut of a passing offense, they still have Pittman Jr. that can make you pay if you're not really paying attention.
Well, the Indianapolis Colts injury report: Julian Blackmon, DeForest Buckner, Stephon Gilmore, Ryan Kelly, the center, Yannick Ngakoue, Jonathan Taylor, and Bernard Raymond. Raymond was limited. The others did not practice yesterday. Raymond was limited. Shaq Leonard was a full participant. But for the Titans, Treylon Burks was out with an illness, so he didn't practice yesterday. Zach Cunningham, who left the game against the Raiders with an elbow injury, did not practice. I'm a little worried about that. Even though he hasn't had a great season to this point, he's still an important piece for that linebacking core there in the middle. Yeah,
he is. And again, if he can't play, then you're down Harold Landry already. Bud Dupree may be 100%, but he's going in maybe 70%.
Yeah.
and then you potentially don't have Cunningham. So what do you do as a defensive coordinator or head coach? How do you fill those holes and still have that depth to rotate guys? I can plug a guy in there, but now who do I elevate to take the guy that I plugged in his place?
Right.
So now it's a trickle down effect. Now we have to be very cognizant.
Because Ola Daney is, he's outside backer, but he's been limited.
Exactly. So we just got to be cognizant of how many plays guys are a part of, making sure that these guys can go the whole game. We're not working them too much, or we're not giving them too many plays consecutively, and try to do the rotation so it's beneficial to everybody and keep that defense fresh.
Coming up next, we talked about getting pressure on Matt Ryan, but there's obviously another weapon on offense the Titans are going to have to try and slow down. How will they do that? We'll discuss that coming up. Again, we're live at Bridgestone Arena in the Jack Daniels Barrel House. Predators taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight. Thoughts and prayers with everybody in Florida right now as Hurricane Ian has made landfall. I've spent a lot of time in the Fort Myers area, so tough seeing the scene down there.
It's bad.
But again, thoughts and prayers. Tampa is here to take on the Preds tonight and tomorrow here at Bridgestone Arena. Tune into the college football game of the week on 102.5, 106.3. The game this Saturday is Alabama takes on Arkansas at 2:30. Our college football game of the week is brought to you by Twin Peaks, home of the 29 Degrees Draft and wall-to-wall sports, Derek's favorite, and Superbook Sports, voted #1 sportsbook in Vegas, my favorite. Download their app today. How can the Titans slow down Jonathan Taylor? We'll discuss that next. 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
Jonathan Hutton.
You have to put the ball in his hands in that moment.
And Chad Withrow.
My kicker's making no decisions on a football team.
Are in the game. Join them for NFL postgame after every Titans home game. Live from Landshark Bar and Grill in Margaritaville on Broadway. They'll break down that day's game and look ahead to the next one. NFL postgame is presented by Two Rivers Ford, Renter's Warehouse, and Superbook Sports on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey everyone, it's me, Michelle Knezovic. Join me Saturday at Lucky Duck Lounge in East Nashville for the SEC Game of the Week, presented by bettinghero.com. They're going to help you enjoy your experience betting on mobile, and hey, they might even buy you a beer. Fun starts at 2:30 Saturday. Can't wait to see you all there.
The Nashville Oktoberfest is quickly approaching, and now's the time to get your Dirndls, Lederhosen, and Party Steins ready. From local breweries to live music and festival artisans, you can't go wrong celebrating this Germantown tradition. The Nashville Oktoberfest 2022, Thursday, October 6th through the 9th at Bicentennial Mall in Germantown. Prepare yourself for 4 days of brats, beer, live music, and competitions. VIP experience reservations are still available at thenashvilleoktoberfest.com. Prost, y'all!
About 80% of new home buyers don't shop around for the best mortgage loan. That's a mistake. Hey, Willy Donick here from my friends at Loan Pronto. Not all mortgages are created equal. People who use Loan Pronto, on average, save $3,500 in closing costs. They get a better rate, which saves them thousands more every year. Your banker or agent's go-to lenders are fine people, but don't assume they're giving you the best deal. Call Loan Pronto for a quick second opinion or go to loanpronto.com. I'll bet you they can get you a better loan, lower rate, without all those annoying closing costs. And when rates drop, Loan Pronto will refinance you for free. No closing costs. Call to get pre-approved in minutes. They can even hook you up with a high-performing real estate agent if you need one. So call Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780. Or go to loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans apply.
Hey, it's Big Joe on the go. Look, I get it. Nobody likes being in a car accident, but when that happens, make it easy on yourself and call Apple Collision Centers so you don't have to stress. They're locally owned with 3 convenient locations in O'Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. Apple Collision Centers managers combined for 60-plus years experience, and they only recommend original equipment parts on your vehicle. So, if you're in need of a repair today or down the road, just head over to Apple Collision Centers. Stan and his team will take great care of you. Online, applecollisioncenters.com.
312 Pizza Company is a family-owned restaurant located in the heart of Germantown, serving up authentic Chicago-style eats right here in Nashville. 312 Pizza Company only uses the best all-natural ingredients and makes everything in-house from scratch every single day. And trust me, you can taste the difference. They've got deep dish pizza, thin crust pizza, their Italian beef. You'll taste the freshness. Stop in for a pint of local beer and a slice of pizza, or order online at 312pizzaco.com. 312 Pizza Company, Nashville's authentic Chicago pizzeria.
Thanks for the coffee. No problem. With my cash rewards card from Navy Federal Credit Union, I get up to 1.75% cash back. Isn't it 1.5%? Now it's up to 1.75%. That's bigger and better. I bought these scones with my cash back. I love scones. Me too. Scones for everyone.
When you sign up for direct deposit, you can earn up to 1.75% cash back with the Cash Rewards Card. Learn more at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA.
Jonathan Hutton.
You have to put the ball in his hands in that moment.
And Chad Withrow.
My kicker's making no decisions on a football team.
Are in the game. Join them for NFL postgame after every Titans home game, live from Landshark Bar and Grill in Margaritaville on Broadway. They'll break down that day's game and look ahead to the next one. NFL postgame is presented by Two Rivers Ford, Renter's Warehouse, and Superbook Sports on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, this is Pekka Rinne. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
See, as close a challenge as there is to, like, Derrick Henry right now. Like, you get a sense of what other teams deal with against you this week?
Well, I mean, I don't really like to get into comparisons. They're a different type of back. You know, they have a obviously different running style, but you know, that's the challenge this week is what they'll try to do and how they've used him in the different, you know, schemes, whether it's under center, in the gun, inside zone, outside zone, you know, gap scheme. So, you know, there's a lot of different things that they present.
That's Mike Vrabel, Titans head coach, talking about Colts running back Jonathan Taylor. Back here, Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McCabe, Willy Donick, Derek Mason here with you live at the Jack Daniels Barrel House as the Predators will take on Tampa Bay. I do want to pass this along, something that the Predators are doing tonight. Hello, Willy.
Hello, guys.
Welcome in.
Thank
Something
you.
the Preds are doing tonight against Tampa. They're going to have a silent auction that can help with hurricane relief. And so something they're going to be doing, the Preds Foundation is hosting an auction to benefit hurricane relief efforts in Florida. Text Preds to 76278 to view items and to bid. And the auction will close tonight at 9 o'clock. They'll have Predators signed jerseys, Lightning signed jerseys, hockey trip to Tampa to watch the Preds take on the Lightning on December 8th, which will be very, very cool. So just a few things there. So be sure to, if you can, check that out and help out with the hurricane relief down in Florida. So how do the Titans stop Jonathan Taylor? Obviously a very dangerous weapon for the Tampa Bay, Indianapolis Colts. Now, Nick Keyser, our top producer, the Rook, back at the studio, sent this tweet. And Willie, now that you're here, you can see it. You can hear it too. Adam Schefter, an Iron Man streak quietly came to an end on Wednesday when Colts running back Jonathan Taylor missed his first football practice due to a toe injury. Until Wednesday, Taylor had never missed a practice at Salem High School in New Jersey, at Wisconsin, or with Indianapolis. He's never missed a practice in his entire life.
Wow.
Until yesterday.
That's
impressive.
A tall feat to accomplish, and he did it. How long has he been in the NFL? 5, 6 years?
No, this is this is like year 3.
Is it year 3 for Jonathan Taylor?
Yeah.
Goodness. So I can see, not missing practice your first 3 years in the NFL because he hadn't had any major injuries. So I understand that. And sometimes missing practice, it may not even be because you're injured. It's just that the coach just want to give you a day off, and you know, and you accept it. So obviously, I'm sure they've tried to get him days off, and he did not accept it. But to go to go. That's Willy. To go high school and then college.
Yeah.
Without missing. And
then in the
as
NFL?
much as they ran him in college.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, that's impressive.
Very, very impressive. But obviously he's going to be a big part of the Colts offense, just like Derrick Henry is a huge part of the Titans offense. So how can – you were talking about getting pressure on Matt Ryan. How can they slow down? Because I don't think they're going to be able to stop Jonathan Taylor, but how can they slow him down?
They have to control the line of scrimmage. We've said it before. We've had, numerous people on all this week. Even Hutton said it. You got to control the line of scrimmage, I believe, in order to win ball games, whether it be the offensive line of scrimmage or the defensive line of scrimmage. And the only way the Tennessee Titans are going to be able to contain Jonathan Taylor is to do what teams have been doing to Derrick Henry. You get to him before he gets started. And if you're able to penetrate the line of scrimmage and make him stop his feet or, go opposite direction that he intended to go, that's a win for you. So the Tennessee Titans, more importantly this week than any other week, I think they need to get some penetration. They didn't do it, Willie, their first week, and we saw what happened with Saquon Barkley. They were able to do it a little bit against Buffalo, but Buffalo was a different animal. They did it some against Oakland at times. Now they really have to do it this week in order to be successful against this Colts offense.
Yeah, I agree. The concern for me is just in a basic approach. If you want the safety to come up in the box, or if you want to crowd the box a little bit more, what has concerned me about the Titans defense, especially with the issues they're having in the secondary, is giving up those big plays in the passing game. I think that's the catch-22. I thought they did a better job last week against the Raiders of giving ground, bending, not breaking. They had some good red zone stops. Obviously, they stopped the two-point conversion. They were very close. A couple of fourth downs, if they could have stopped a fourth down, maybe you walk out of there with a 24-16 win and you're feeling really good about the defense. They gave up the 60-yard pass. But what's been scaring me is they've been giving up those, not just explosive plays defined by 20 yards or more, but it's the 40, the 50, the big ones. They've given up a lot of big ones. Now, last year, if you remember, early in the season, they got hurt. The Jets game, that probably cost them the Jets game. Seattle got some big plays. But as the season went along, they really got better at not giving up the big plays and getting that pass rush and stopping drives 10 yards at a time. It's harder to do against the Colts if you want to, really load up the box to stop Jonathan Taylor. I think that's the challenge for Shane Bowen there.
But you can't, and you didn't hear us in the first segment, Willie. But when you do that, Matt Ryan, when you have to bring that extra guy in the box, Matt Ryan has shown that he will make you pay. He's completed over 60% of his passes versus the blitz. So the Titans got to be strategic in how they do that, because if they want to stop Jonathan Taylor, they're going to have to bring that extra guy possibly in the box. Well, if Matt Ryan sees that very quickly, then he can audible out of plays and sort of audible into a pass play. And again, when you try to blitz him, he will make you pay. He has over, I think, close to 30% of his yardage comes when you blitz him.
Yeah. So you've got to get the pressure without blitzing.
Absolutely.
And
and that's tough.
And teams have. That is their biggest problem right now, is they have not protected him very well. He's been sacked a bunch. They're getting to him. He's fumbled. He's throwing interceptions. They're getting heat on him. We know he can't move very well. He doesn't have truly an electrifying receiver. I think Pittman is a very good receiver. He's a guy that goes up and gets it. He's got size. I don't look at him as a guy that catches that crossing route and takes it 50 yards. So I think you can contain the receivers a little bit. It's a unique challenge for this defense. But, man, you just don't want Jonathan Taylor to control the game. That's got to be your first priority. If you can make it tough on him, he's going to get the ball a lot. He's going to get some yards. But if you can contain him, then I really like your chances. If you can get them into third and long, they have not been really good on offense at all. They were very fortunate to win last week.
Well, I mean, let's continue to watch that toe injury because
that's another thing to look at.
That could be big.
If he's missing practice,
exactly.
it
that
can't
can
be nothing.
huge. I can see if it was, his upper body, upper body injury or
sore
something.
Wrist or elbow.
Sore wrist. Or, his knee's a little sore, but he'd be fine. But when you start talking your toe or something like that, that's big for a running back.
Well,
so
Eddie's talked about
exactly,
that,
absolutely.
Because he obviously had the turf toe, and that never really recovered from that.
So is this the beginning of something that could potentially be chronic?
Yeah.
You know?
mean, that's a good question. I mean, we'll talk to Bob Kravitz coming up at 11 and see if he knows a little bit more about that injury. But I think you make a great point because you can't mess with the wheels on a running back. And that is a big part. Big part of it for sure for Jonathan Taylor. But speaking of the running back position, we saw a much better game out of Derrick Henry last week for the Titans. Can he continue to improve and go in the right direction as he returns to Indianapolis, the place where he injured the foot last year? We will discuss that. Coming up next is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Silly Underdog Picks is back. Get your friends and sign up today at thegamenashville.com. Pick the 3 football underdog teams each week you think will win for a chance to win weekly prizes. Like a pair of tickets to a sporting event or to a concert in Nashville. Go to thegamenashville.com or the Game Nashville app and sign up and play now. Then tune in every Thursday at noon for our expert picks. Silly Underdogs is presented by Volunteer Hose and Gasket.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus. Another beautiful day ahead of us here. After a warmer start by about 5 to 10 degrees, the afternoon will be a little bit warmer as well. Highs in the middle 70s with unlimited sunshine. Next rain chance comes on Saturday.
Brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Hey, it's Mike from Newton Ford South. The weather's starting to get cooler, and you know what that means. It's time for football. I don't know about you, but I've been waiting all year for this. Did you know that the most overtimes ever played in a football game is 7? That's almost 3 full games. It's crazy. I can't imagine sitting there for that long. Here at Newton, we know your time is valuable, especially during football season. We have ways to keep you cheering for your team without sitting and waiting. If your car needs some work, you can schedule online anytime. You can drop your car off at your convenience, and we'll update you when it's ready. On top of that, if you're shopping for a new car, we have Newton Fast Pass. It's the fast and easy way to shop from home. You can walk through the entire process from your couch. We can even deliver the car to your home. So no more missing games. Watch them all. Visit NewtonFordSouth.com to start shopping or schedule your service today.
Finishing jobs on time, never being idle, and powerful equipment. Meade has the John Deere excavating equipment and the smart grade technology solutions for you and your business. Power your business with a new, used, or rented excavator and get the performance you expect and service you can rely on. Call us today for the equipment built as tough and reliable as you, or visit us at meadtractor.com. That's meadtractor.com.
Hey, it's Jared with my official sportsbook app, the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Start NFL Week 4 off right with a no-sweat same-game parlay from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. It doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel or if you already have an account. You'll get free bets back if your Thursday night same-game parlay does not hit. NFL same-game parlays are the perfect way to combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout. Have to think about Tyreek Hill and all the numbers he's been putting up this year, and even Tua, if he plays, what that will mean. Build your own or choose from one of the popular same-game parlays pre-built for you in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. However you want to play, you can bet the NFL on Thursday night with a no-sweat same-game parlay. Just sign up with the promo code JGM if you don't already have an account and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 and older and present in Tennessee. 3+ legs, minimum $1 bet required. Refund issues not withdrawable. Free bets expire 7 days after receipt. Max bet $5. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 1-800-889-9789.
Life stresses can take a toll on your mind, body, and spirit, but there are simple, enjoyable remedies that may help aid these, and they can be delivered right to your doorstep. Hey, folks, Joe Rexrode here. So excited to be talking to you about the nation's #1 online shop for all things cannabis, OrderGreen.com. Their wide selection of THC and CBD products will ensure you find a fit for your needs with discreet, same-day shipping nationwide. For me, for inflammation, for stress relief, it's a tremendous product. That's right, THC, CBD, right to your doorstep. Use promo code JOE20 for 20% off your first purchase at OrderGreen.com.
Robbie Stanley.
They get a lead in that game and just totally close the door.
Joe Rexrode.
If he plays next year, it's disastrous.
Robbie and Rexrode. Mornings from 6 to 10 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
I'm ready to step this up a notch.
You're listening to Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Streaming on the Game Nashville app. We almost had a disaster.
I didn't think this thing was mobile.
I didn't think it was
either.
me either until I tried to, push myself away, and it pushed the whole thing.
we have our new desk at Barrel House, and Derek almost put it in the floor. So
exactly.
Did not expect that, but hey, it's all good. We are good. Again, wanting to pass this along, the Predators and the Lightning will hold a silent auction tonight for hurricane relief down in Florida. We were just talking about it during the break. Just the pictures are devastating out of Fort Myers. I mean, I've spent so many times there. Ricky and Amber, we've made several trips down to Fort Myers, and a lot of the places that we hang out at are no longer standing. There's a bridge out to Sanibel Island that people are trapped on the island. But again, you can participate in the Preds Foundation auction to benefit hurricane relief efforts in Florida. Just text Preds to 76278 to view items and to bid. The auction will close tonight at 9 o'clock, but there's Predators signed jerseys, Lightning signed jerseys, and even a trip to Tampa to watch the Preds take on the Lightning on December 8th. So very, very cool that the Predators and the Lightning getting together on this to try and help with hurricane relief. So
I'm watching the Lightning. Well, I was watching the Lightning during the break. They're out there doing their practice. Of course, their whole operation got moved up here, so they've got everybody up here. And so they're actually doing a practice. I'm not sure who's going to be playing in the game tonight or tomorrow night, but some of the greats of the game. You've got to appreciate how great this team has been the last couple of years. 2 titles and very nearly a 3-peat. Steven Stamkos, Nikita Kucherov, Braden Point, they're all on the ice right now. So it's great that the two teams coming together to try to put together what they can here. So I hope our audience responds. I love our market. I love our community, how they rally to causes like this. They've been so great. So many people from all around were great when the tornado hit our area a couple of years ago. So I think this is the same kind of spirit.
Well, and I feel like, too, there's so many connections between the Lightning and the Predators. Obviously, Sean Henry, Bill Wickett spent a lot of time in Tampa, and just a lot of cross-pollination between the two organizations, and they've always done a good job of being able to work together. So I think it's very cool that they are doing that. So Derrick Henry, we saw an improvement with him last week again in the win against the Raiders. He was used in the passing game. He was obviously a little more effective in the run game. Now, it kind of fell off some in the second half, but how can he build on that as he returns to the turf where he injured the foot last year?
I want to ask you, Derek, about the turf. Did you feel differently after a game on turf as opposed to grass? Because there was a lot of talk last year when he broke the foot about the turf in Indy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did anybody ever talk about Indy in particular, any stadium in particular, turf?
I mean, no, not that. Now that they've, 20, 25 years ago, 30 years ago,
Well, that
yes.
was AstroTurf. You hear that
that's
all
what I'm saying.
the time.
Yes,
the old Meadowlands and Veterans Stadium, and places like that.
Yeah,
boy, the old Silver Dome.
Once they all, switched over to
the modern kind,
to the field turf, and then each year, they've made it a little bit better, a little bit softer. Guys don't typically complain about it.
Yeah, that's what was so odd about last year when he when he broke the foot. Now, not that anybody said it from his camp or Derek himself or anything, but there were some people that speculated, hey, look, it seems like a lot of guys are getting hurt on the Indy turf. And I had not heard that at all.
I've never heard it.
Yeah.
People, if they say that, they need to give some receipts,
reference points,
you know, on. Okay, if you are saying this is true, I'm not saying
Odell
that
Beckham,
it's not.
People
Exactly.
went wild at the Super Bowl,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
When Odell Beckham tore his ACL, people were saying some stuff about the turf there. Remember that? Some guys got hurt.
But this is a guy that was coming off an ACL, you know, and he played in Cleveland, you know. I mean, look, they make this turf. If I had my, pick, I would play on natural grass all day, every day. I just like the fact of being able to go out there, get dirty, and all that other stuff. The biggest thing about turf is the turf burns. Those are the biggest thing. You slide on that carpet, man. Goodness, it could take a whole the top layer of your flesh off.
Yeah.
And that's not good when you try to take a shower, after the game. But I haven't, if you're playing on it for a long period of time, like 6, 7, 8 years, and that's all you're playing on, then obviously it'll take a toll on you. But, playing on it every other week or 8 games out of the year, but you're playing on grass here and whatnot, I don't think it's such a big deal in regards to injury. Because if that's the case, we would have more injuries.
Yeah.
But we don't. So I just think it's a part of football, whether you're on turf or on grass. You're going to get hurt.
Yeah, and more and more fields in really all sports are going to the turf.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's important to keep the technology as strong as possible. Neil O'Donnell, who retired here, he's very involved in selling these turf fields. So he's talked a lot about that over the years, but how those are put together.
You got to maintain it and everything else.
So there's no doubt this is where it's going. So it is going to be interesting for Derrick Henry going back up there. Like if you know him, like he's such a. To me, he's got that great mental edge, that competitive edge. I feel like that will not be in the back of his mind. Right. Like he just won't let it get in there.
I mean, he's played in enough games so far after the injury, the foot injury, and he's worked out and he's did all this stuff. I think now, he's not even thinking about the foot anymore. I think everybody else is thinking about it rather than him. He's like, listen, I've gotten hit. People have fell on me. People have grabbed my foot. I'm sure there were people underneath the pile twisting it a little bit. That's just how it is. And he's been able to get up and go. So he's done with it. It's everybody else that keeps bringing it up.
Yeah. Right.
And it's almost like, people keep bringing it because they're waiting for it to happen. Well, if it happens at the end of the season or if it happens next season, I don't, think that because he's been playing on turf or this or that it caused him to hurt his foot again. He's just a big guy, and he runs powerful, and those guys are hitting on him. So whether you're playing on turf or grass, you're subject to injure yourself anyway,
So there are 30 NFL stadiums.
Uh-huh.
Because obviously the Chargers and Rams share one, Jets and Giants share one. 14, so nearly half use turf.
Yeah. So you would see
including
more injuries.
Buffalo, so he has played a game on the turf.
Yeah.
Right. So that was really, and that wasn't really talked about a whole lot.
Yeah.
He went up there. That was his first game on turf since the injury.
Yeah,
obviously, it wasn't a great game for him, but I don't think that is a thing. Even though
we make it a thing.
Yeah.
And it's not really a thing, especially not to him, but obviously we're going to make it a thing because it's his foot going back to Indy. This is where he hurt himself. Well, what if he would have hurt himself on grass against, I don't know, the Jaguars? Would we be, so quick to say it wouldn't be a big deal because it'd be grass, We wouldn't bring up the issue of, he hurt his foot in Jacksonville. Only reason we're bringing it up now because it's turf. And, last time we see Derrick Henry in Indianapolis, he hurt himself. Well, I don't expect that, and I hope that isn't the case this Sunday because I want to see these two backs, really show out because both teams are sort of a mirror image of one another. And if those backs are on, that means their team is on.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We will we'll continue this discussion on the Titans and the Colts. Coming up next, we're going to talk to Bob Kravitz. Been visiting with him for years as he covers the Colts in Indianapolis for The Athletic. We will do that coming up next. But first, Willie, you're going to tell us about QC Kinetics.
I am. Let's talk QC Kinetics. One of the best things that's happened over here in the last year is the arrival and also the expansion of QC Kinetics. It's helping people in Middle Tennessee get real lasting relief from their joint pain with the latest in that regenerative medicine I talk about. And what is the key thing you need to know? No drugs, no downtime, no steroids, no surgery. It's a different way of treating that joint pain, that nagging back problem you might have, or knees or ankles or things that are keeping you from playing golf the way you want to, or playing that pickup basketball game you want to. Whatever it is that you like to do when you're active, QC Kinetics is now tripled in size. So depending on where you're listening, they've got clinics here in Nashville, over in Clarksville, and also in Murfreesboro. So there's one near you. If you've got that pain, the regenerative medicine treatments at QC Kinetics use the natural biologics, healing agents from your own body to restore and repair the damaged joint tissue. So give them a call. You can get an appointment next week, and the consultation is free. Call them right now and learn how that modern precision medicine can help you deal with pain caused by arthritis or injury without the drugs or the surgery. QC Kinetics, 615-249-4024. Nashville, Clarksville, and Murfreesboro. 615-249-4024 for QC Kinetics.
You love the game.
Tennessee touchdown! Middle Tennessee gets the score.
We live the game.
Just work on the little things every day.
They think the coaches are just coaches.
We are. We got pass rushers.
Checkered flag in the air.
Awesome game 7.
What a stop made by UC Sarah.
The game. Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
When I came to Genesis, I was completely shocked and surprised.
That's Tara Michelle, but like so many of her customers, she's made the switch to Genesis.
Now working at Genesis, I'm able to offer my customers more inventory, more selection, better pricing, better warranties and guarantees.
And Tara loves that now she's got access to the top designers and all the latest ring styles, over 4,000 choices.
The picture that she's captured on Instagram, they show me that picture. I don't have just one option for them. I have plenty, and we're going to hit it out of the park every single time. I'm not only getting the customers exactly what they want style-wise, but the price is going to be unbeatable, without a doubt, hands down.
And unlike the other stores, Tara's not working on commission at Genesis, so less stress for everyone.
I'm not putting pressure on the customer to purchase because no one's putting pressure on me to sell. I have the freedom to make it a personal experience for them.
Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Parman Tractor and Equipment is your one-stop tractor and equipment solution and Middle Tennessee's Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer. No matter how you're getting there, start with Parman Tractor and Equipment. Rent or purchase a track loader, mini excavator, large excavators for your job site, or something in between. Their service and parts team will get your work site up and running in no time. Parman Tractor and Equipment will come to you for service if needed. Visit ParmanTractor.com for more info. Your Middle Tennessee Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer, providing totally outrageous customer service.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, Nashville's exclusive home for the Nashville Predators. 102.5 and 106.3.
Terang, it's a high fly ball.
We got pass rushers.
Awesome game 7.
Checkered flag in the air.
The Game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Now let's see if we can bring them to life, all right?
Bringing you entertainment and informative sports talk during your workday.
Smart, funny, classy, and I like him a lot.
This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase with Chase McCabe, Willy Donick,
Mason, touchdown, Tennessee.
and former NFL wide receiver Derek Mason on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app.
This is a new level of geek you got going on here.
Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, live at the Jack Daniels Barrel House in Bridgestone Arena. It is a Predators game day, and it's presented by Social Furniture. Shop today to get rewarded with social cash back. Buy $1,000, get $125 cash back on your Social Furniture gift card. Shop local, shop social in West Nashville. Got to meet those people the other night. Great people over there on my side of town on the west side. Back here, 11 o'clock hour, let's say hello to Bob Kravitz from The Athletic. We've been talking to him about the Colts for a long time. Bob, how you doing?
I'm tremendous. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for doing this, as always. I want to start with this, I guess, the Ironman streak that I didn't realize was a thing that came to an end, but Jonathan Taylor missed his first practice ever, going back to high school, Wisconsin, and now with the Indianapolis Colts. Pretty impressive, but what does that mean for him, and how's the toe?
Well, we'll know more later on today and Friday, but it doesn't sound like anything terribly serious. I think he'd really have to take a step back not to be playing on Sunday. So I think we'll see that head-to-head matchup with Henry that everybody wants to see.
Yeah, I think you're right. And, Henry returning to where he got hurt in Indianapolis last year and hurt the foot should definitely make for an interesting matchup. Now, I know I was reading in The Athletic, Zach Kiefer put this article out that Jim Irsay does not like losing to the Tennessee Titans, and he's basically demanded that it stop. I mean, it's funny to think about how much the Colts dominated the Titans back even when Derek was playing and Peyton Manning, but the boss wants some things to change when it comes to the Colts and the Titans.
Well, it's been, 7 years since the Colts have won the AFC South, and, after the decade of the 2000s when really the only question was how early are they going to clinch top seed in the AFC and how many weeks will they take off before the playoffs. That seems like ancient history now. Yeah, I mean, it's only been, 4 out of the last 6 or something like that. It's certainly not even close to the domination that the Colts had over the Titans for so many years. But, yeah, Jim also said about the same thing about beating the Jaguars. We saw how that worked out. They lost 24-0, didn't show up. So that's Jim. Jim talks. And we love him for it because he fills up our notebooks and says things he probably shouldn't say, but why not? It's just football.
He makes it easy for you guys to do your job for sure. Talking to Bob Kravitz of The Athletic. So Matt Ryan, through the first 3 games of the season, obviously get their first win last week against Kansas City. But what have you seen so far out of the new quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts?
Big question with Matt Ryan is how much of this is him just sort of declining as players start to do when they're 37 years old, and how much of it is the people around him. He does not have dynamic receiving core, which is something I think people in Tennessee can relate to since A.J. Brown is no longer there. But he doesn't have elite wide receivers. He doesn't have an elite pass-catching tight end. And the offensive line, they dedicate a higher percentage of their cap to the offensive line, over $42 million than any other team in the NFL. And they have stunk. They have been terrible. Matt Ryan has 7 fumbles. He's been sacked like 18 times or some crazy number. They have been terrible. His time to throw has been minimal. So it's hard to know whether it's all on Matt Ryan or partially on Matt Ryan. So far, I haven't been impressed. But, I do think learning a whole new terminology, I think it's going to take a little time. So I think we've yet to see what he can really do. but I'm not discounting the possibility that maybe this is all he can do.
We'll talk with Bob Kravitz. Now, looking at their defense, Bob, they have a bunch of guys that are questionable. And this is, along with their offensive line, we thought this would be a strength of their defense. Are they getting guys back? I know Leonard has been out. What is his status moving forward? Because they're going to need him because they're in a mirror. They're identical to what the Titans are here. They love to run the football and love to play really good defense and try to keep the game close. Right. So if these guys, if the Indianapolis Colts don't have their guys on defense, it sort of throw off what they want to do as far as a team. Now, are those guys back, ready to go? How is that defense looking?
The only guy that right now is a really big question mark is Darius Leonard. Darius has practiced, I think, 11 or 12 straight days, but he still doesn't feel like he's ready. He does say he's pain-free, but I think he wants even more time to get himself up to the level he wants to be at. So, again, we'll know more here in the next day and a half about his availability. But otherwise, they should be in pretty good shape physically. Physically. And, look, they played pretty well in Houston. Everybody stunk in Jacksonville like they do every time they go to Jacksonville. They were dominant against Patrick Mahomes. They held him to 262 yards, quarterback rating around 70-something. They got to Mahomes a lot with just the front four, which is something you absolutely have to do because he has blitzes for lunch. So I thought they really came along and played lights out last week, and we'll see what they do this week against a very different type of offense.
We'll talk with Bob Kravitz of The Athletic. Now, we've seen in recent years, more importantly last year, where the owner just was beside himself in regards to them not making the playoffs. And you saw what they did in the offseason. They got rid of the quarterback. So it's, to me, when you do that, it's sending a signal to everybody. Hey, listen, if we don't get this thing right, first it's the quarterback, next it might be the head coach and the GM. So where does Frank Wright sit, if this season doesn't go the way the owner wants it to go?
I think that unless it's a complete dumpster fire, and I don't suspect that it will be, although quite honestly after the first two games, you started to think maybe this is going to go way south. But, unless it's a dumpster fire, I think that Reich and Ballard will be back. I think the seat is getting a little warmer under Frank. I think this is a really, really big game, and as you guys mentioned earlier, Jim Irsay wants this one in the worst way. He's sick and tired of it. You would think the way he talks that they haven't beaten him in 22 years. But, when you've had the success that the Colts have had, in the 2000s, and you've had the success that you've had over the Titans in the years preceding that, I guess you have heightened expectations. So I don't think either guy is in real trouble, but if this thing goes south, 7-10, then I think that there's going to be a really good, hard, long look taken at coach and his assistants.
Bob Kravitz is with us. We're talking Colts-Titans. Bob, what's your early look at the Jaguars in terms of, as you said, could you just write it off as the Colts never play well down there, but of course the Jags, they piggyback off of that win and go out to L.A. and just thump the Chargers, and they led throughout in that one. Are the Jags changing the narrative here?
They totally are, and I remember Peyton's first year when they went 3-13, and Peyton broke the record for most interceptions. And that's a record he wants. He was hoping that Trevor Lawrence would break that record last year, but no such luck. But, I mean, he says it in a funny way. He's, not rooting against guys.
Right.
Sort of rooting against guys. But, the second year, the Colts went 13-3, You'll remember that was the year they lost at home to the Titans in the playoffs at the old RCA Dome. So, yeah, I think they're changing the narrative very quickly. Trevor Lawrence is starting to look like the player we all thought he was going to be coming out of college. So, yeah, I think all of a sudden Tennessee Titans the Jacksonville Jaguars are a team you got to take seriously now. Shows you what coaching can do.
I'm curious what the perception of the Titans is from your standpoint too, compared to last year, and that's something we discussed a lot.
Yeah,
their internal expectations were to stay at the same level, try to build off of what they did last year, but they don't seem to be as scary looking from the outside to a lot of people.
Yeah, I've actually written this. Not that matters, but I do think there's a general perception of the Titans that while they're really good and they've got Henry and Mike Vrabel, who was up for the job here after McDaniels pulled out, is a terrific head coach. I think there's a feeling that they're right picking this year. Trading away A.J. Brown, losing Harold Landry. You guys know more about the injuries than I do, but I think there's a feeling that if you're going to get them, this would be a damn good year to get them because, they don't have quite the same dynamism that they once did.
Bob Kravitz of The Athletic joining us. Always enjoy our conversations with you, Bob. Appreciate it as always, and we'll talk again soon.
All right, sounds good. Take care. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much. Bob Kravitz does a great job covering the Colts as the Titans will head there this weekend and hopefully disappoint Jim Irsay. That's kind of what
upset Jim Irsay, and maybe he just dismantle the whole team.
Well, and here's what's I was gonna follow up and ask Bob this, but we had to go. But if that does happen, I think you're going to hear more than ever is it time for Peyton to step in? You're going to hear that out of Indianapolis. Even though he doesn't live there anymore, he's still in Denver. I think that could come up. Is this when Peyton goes into a front office and tries it from that angle? Even though I think he loves his production.
What he'll do. He'll run the team from the Manning cast.
Yes,
he'll just zoom in and do.
And Eli be behind.
Yeah, they'll just talk things over and they'll make decisions from there.
And then season 2 is Eli runs the Giants.
Right. That's right.
But Bob did say two things that is interesting, and I like to talk about those two things on the other side. But they were interesting things when he said them.
We will do that coming up next. We're live at Bridgestone Arena today. The Predators and the Lightning tonight and tomorrow. It's Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
At some point, it's a combination of who did you play and what does your skill set look like.
Get the best analysis of the big stories in the sports world with ESPN's Jason Fitz.
If you reach for a quarterback in the draft because you need one, you're going to set your franchise back 5 years.
Join Fitzy every Wednesday at 4:30. Presented by Blood Assurance. Jason Fitz.
I am 5'9.5"
on ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
As a roofer, every second counts. Late deliveries and incomplete orders cost me time and money. That's why I partner with Beacon. Beacon's unique network of branches work together to get me what I need when I need it. Every branch working together. With Beacon, I know my supplies will be delivered on time and complete. Homeowners rely on me, so I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Go to BECN.com to get started building with Beacon. Beacon, always building.
Are you getting hit hard with higher costs and higher interest rates? Is your credit card rate going up every month? Hey, Willie Donick, how'd you like to wipe out those credit cards before the holidays? Call Loan Pronto. Your home equity can rescue you right now. Your home's value is still way up, and there's a ton of cash that you can get. Loan Pronto specializes in zero-cost cash-out home refis. Get tens of thousands in as little as 2 weeks. Pay off credit cards and consolidate everything into one super low payment. People who do this usually cut around $800 from their monthly budget. And even if your home mortgage rate goes up a little bit, it's offset by your credit card rate going to zero. When rates come back down, Loan Pronto will refinance you again for free. Call Loan Pronto. Do it now. You can even skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Hey, it's Jared. Are you looking to move? If so, do yourself a favor and reach out to my friends at TriStar Moving. You can be assured your move will be stress-free because they've got new utility vans to help with pack jobs to separate your high-value or fragile items from the bulk of your furniture, and their movers are carefully picked and highly trained. No one in the game is doing this. TriStar Moving is raising the standard in the moving industry. When you're ready to move, give them a call. TriStar Moving, 615-640-1219, or online at nationalmoving.org/radio, and tell them Jared Stillman referred you for 10% off. That's TriStar Moving.
College football season is here. Finally, it's me, Caroline Fenton, and you already know that I am pumped up for college football season. And Southeastern Carolines, you know that 312 Pizza Company is my favorite place in town. 312 Pizza Company is a family-owned restaurant located in the heart of Germantown, serving up authentic Chicago-style eats right here in Music City. You can catch every down of the college football season at 312 Pizza Company. From week 1 to the national championship, 312 Pizza Company is your home for college football season.
Harman Energy is now hiring drivers for their Nashville team. Harman Energy is Tennessee's petroleum solution for major industries. Right now, they're offering competitive compensation. Fuel tank wagon drivers start at $26 an hour. Fuel transport drivers, $29 an hour. Plus, there's a $4,000 sign-on bonus for CDL drivers. Top quality benefits and a great place to work, Harman Energy employees provide totally outrageous customer service. Come be an employee owner with the Harman team. Apply now at HarmanEnergy.com.
Football is finally here, and if you're out at Nissan Stadium for a tailgate, catching kickoff at your favorite bar, or just curled up on the couch, be sure you're sipping on a Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Hey, what's up? It's Chase McKay. By now, you all got to know how much I love Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Game days can get pretty busy. I'm always sure to unwind with a chilled Screwball. There's nothing like it. Be sure to make Screwball your official drink of choice this season, just like me, the suit. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022 Screwball Spirits LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors, 35% alcohol by volume.
I love this show. Never miss a moment of the show.
Okay, all right, okay.
Subscribe to the Chase, Willy, and D-Mase podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts. This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app.
Yes, let it play. Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McCabe, Willy Donick, Derek Mason, little Coolio, passing away at the age of 59 yesterday. Just sad. I love Coolio, but had to play a little Coolio today. Back here at the Jack Daniels Barrel House at Bridgestone Arena. Predators Lightning tonight. All right, so you said you heard a couple things that Bob Kravitz said that kind of stood out to you, Derek.
Yes, 2 clips. 2 things he said. He talked about the Tennessee Titans, and listen, if you're the sentiment in up north in Indianapolis is, listen, if you're going to get the Titans, you get them now, because their best pass rusher is not playing. Their other pass rusher is being banged up. They have no playmakers outside, at least not yet. We think Traylon will be a playmaker, but he missed practice too for illness. This team is weak in the secondary. Their offensive line is weak. So if you're going to get this Tennessee Titan team, this is the year you get them, because it seems like they're on a downward trajectory. And then also he mentioned the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm glad that question was asked of him in regards to the Jaguars, because we want to know what is everybody else outside of Nashville thinking about the Jaguars, because if many listen to this show, y'all know how we feel about the Jaguars. We believe the Jaguars are an up-and-coming team, and I believe that for real. I didn't think they would make the playoffs, but I said at the beginning of the season, they're going to make it very, very hard for whoever is going to win the AFC South. They're going to make it hard, because it's no longer is it going to be, hey, we walk into Jacksonville, Tennessee Titans, we're getting the victory of Jacksonville, come here to Nashville, that's a victory. Not anymore, not with the way they're playing. So it was good to get a sort of Bob Kravitz outlook on how the Jazz look, because he saw them firsthand. And he said that team's legit. But
I think they might be.
Yeah.
I'm tempering some expectations.
They just have that. They have a youthful energy that all of a sudden, if you put some confidence with that,
with
it's
good coaching,
with good coaching, I think all of a sudden it becomes dangerous. Like we talk a lot about Lawrence and Travis Etienne. That's one thing. But what people are really starting to buzz about, who have played them, is their defensive front. You know, they've got some. When you draft high every year, sooner or later you're going to get some good players, and it does look like their defense is pretty nasty right now. That's pretty scary. You hold the Chargers to 10, you shut out the Colts. I mean, that's something to keep note of, right? It's not just that they've got the quarterback who looks like he could be pretty special, and it's kind of scaring people. They got a lot of things that are starting to materialize quicker than we expected.
Well, and then many looked at that Christian Kirk, and then how could they pay him that much money?
Yeah.
How could they do this? Well, he's worth the money and maybe even more than what they pay. Because I looked at both of these two individuals, Kirk and A.J. Brown, because they play. Jacksonville plays the Eagles this week. And I looked at those two guys. Christian Kirk is having a better season than A.J. Brown. No one would have ever thought that. Now, A.J. has more catches and a little bit more yardage, but Christian Kirk has more touchdowns, and I think his yards per catch is better. But they're hovering right around the same amount of yards. But Christian Kirk has less catches. I think A.J. may have like 40 more yards than Christian Kirk, somewhere around there. That signing for them with Doug Peterson as the head coach is working out perfectly. They didn't have to pay him $20-25 million, but they're getting $20-25 million production from early on from a guy that many looked and said, he don't deserve the money he's getting.
He has played well. And
he's played really well,
How often do you see somebody pay extra for a veteran wide receiver and it just goes the other way?
Exactly.
Like it's not a fit. They're not in the same system. But this looks like it's panning out very, very well. Kirk has been a very, very nice addition for them. That is a big, big thing. Because how many years in a row were you looking at their wide receiver, DJ Chark, and some of these guys? Nobody could ever really materialize as a threat.
Well, it seems like they are now. And I think a lot of that has to do with Peterson.
Coming around. Yeah.
Oh, look, I think Doug Peterson is vastly underrated. I mean, he won a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback in Nick Foles in Philadelphia. Carson Wentz was on pace to be the MVP that year. So, I mean, look, I'm not surprised by any means of what he's doing there in Jacksonville. By the way, Derrick Henry, speaking to the media, when asked about going back to the scene where he injured his foot, quote, "My foot is fine. I'm not concerned about that."
Exactly.
That's what I thought you would hear him say, yeah.
Like, we are making more of a deal of it than Derrick is. He's like, man, so what?
Yeah.
I mean, it's football. I get hurt. Come back healthy and ready to go.
An interesting observation when you talk about Jacksonville, and I've kind of seen this trend with other teams, and I'm curious if it's just a coincidence or if there's really something to it. You have Trevor Lawrence and then Travis Etienne, played together at Clemson. You have with the Bengals, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, played together at LSU. That was his favorite target at LSU. Tua and Jalen Waddle played together at Alabama. Obviously now, even though a lot of time has passed, Derek Carr and Devontae Adams played together at Fresno State.
Now, did Devontae Smith and Hurts overlap? I think they overlapped.
Yeah, I think so. I think that would be right. That they would
think
have.
But I think Devontae, you know what? They did overlap.
Yeah.
Both of them did overlap.
Yeah. So there's kind of this trend of, especially quarterbacks, getting a quarterback and then an offensive weapon that they had in college and obviously built a lot of chemistry together. Again, I don't know if it's a coincidence or if it's something teams are keeping in mind. If that person's there in the draft, that they can go get a favorite target. But I've seen it pay off.
Yeah, it's hard to know whether that was part of the thinking, because I think Devontae Smith, his Heisman year, that was Mac Jones, right?
Yes. Yeah,
so
right.
so I'm sure he
Hurts
might have
was
been there. And
Hurts
of course,
was there. It was
but Hurts lost the job
year.
to Tua, so I don't know how much they actually played. Maybe an expert Alabama fan could fill us in on on some of that. But either way,
I'm sure somebody will text.
The chemistry has fallen together really well in the early part of the season there for the Eagles. Smith and A.J. Brown have both been really good, and so has Hurts, right? And if they could ever get a little bit of a running game to go with it, that would be really scary. It's coming around a little bit, but that still seems to be a question mark. But, yeah, there's these teams you start assessing after this many games where you're like, okay, we kind of thought they might be better, but, man, they look like they're way better. The Eagles and the Jags might be in that category.
But are they for real?
Or
is it all an
That's
illusion?
the next question. This is what we all love about the NFL.
Because I believe
just when you think they lose to the Jets or something like that,
I feel like the Jags might be for real. I feel like the Eagles might be an illusion.
Really? I would go the other. I think they're both pretty good.
I think they're both good. Not to say that they may tail off at the end. I don't expect Jacksonville to make the playoffs. I expect them to be a 9-win team, 8-win team. But then again, if they are a 10, 11-win team, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, if they're a 10, 11-win team, they're winning the division.
They're winning the division. But if that was to happen, I wouldn't be surprised because of the addition of Peterson, how Trevor Lawrence is looking, how that offense is looking, and how that young defense. Because you got to remember, this is what Mike Vrabel inherited. He inherited sort of this young team with a good mix of veterans. He inherited Derrick Henry, I think his 3rd or 4th year. So he was just coming on. The oldest guy was probably Ryan Tannehill on offense and Ben Jones. If I'm not correct, there may be a couple of other guys that were in there.
Yeah.
But I'm looking back when he took this job, this was a young team that had some promise, but then they inserted a really good coach that got the best out of all of them. And that's what you're seeing now from the Jacksonville Jaguars. A really good coach comes in that knows how to coach up individuals. He has a young team, and they're buying into what he's saying.
Another thing, I'd like to talk about this on the other side. Are we continuing this?
Well, I had something else in mind, but go ahead. Yeah,
well, because I think it goes to something that I heard from Bob is in the context of this whole evolution of the AFC South, I seemed to feel like there was some doubt from Bob that Matt Ryan is still capable of taking them where they want to go, which is an upgrade, a clear upgrade over Carson Wentz, a clear upgrade over Phillip Rivers, which is what they are seeking.
Sure.
Right? That's what they're hoping for. Right now, it's kind of like, do they have that? All summer long we were talking about it. There's a lot of people that make predictions that were buying into it, but is it happening?
Let's discuss that coming up next. 615-737-1025 is our phone and text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Byron says, Coolio, Voltron, y'all are lighting it up today. Appreciate you guys. You missed the Voltron reference earlier,
you missed the
Willy.
Voltron reference. I'll bring it back for you, Willy.
But Derek had a Voltron reference that was pretty good. We'll continue the Colts conversation coming up next on Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Hey, Preds fans.
Running across to make the save is Sarah.
You can now hear Nashville's best sports talk.
The backhander, he scores!
And every Predators game on 106.3 FM.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty.
From downtown Nashville to Rutherford and Williamson counties.
Duchesne with the overtime winner.
Catch all the action on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
This segment of ESPN 102.5 The Game is brought to you by Train Heating and Cooling Systems. Tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. Traininfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who miss the fairway all day and still pull out the big stick, the type of guys who will always prefer to be behind the grill than in front of the camera, and the men who never let their friends forget about a high school nickname. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
This is a relationship, just like your relationship. Dating and getting married is awesome and fun, but having been married for 24 years, I can tell you it only gets better.
Meet Ward Herbert, manager at Genesis Diamonds, talking about the importance of having a long-term marriage with your spouse and your jeweler.
What's in the DNA here is relationship building. How can we be a part of your love story forever? It's your engagement ring, it's your wedding band, it's your anniversaries, it's gifts for your children, it's being a Genesis customer for life.
Genesis Diamonds, where it's never about making a sale, it's about making a hero.
The greatest joy I get is helping you find your perfect ring, helping you find your perfect diamond, and having you walk out with a huge smile on your face because you know she's going to love it and it's going to be something you can be proud of forever.
And Ward knows a thing or two about relationships as a marriage counselor and an ordained minister. He can provide a little extra added value.
I did a wedding ceremony for one of our customers 2 months ago. He did not have a minister at the last minute, and I performed his wedding ceremony for him.
Genesis Diamonds, going above and beyond for every customer.
Now you may kiss the bride.
Green Hills and Cool Springs.
C10 Nationals, the world's largest Chevy and GMC truck event, is coming to the Nashville Super Speedway September 30th and October 1st. Packed with vendors and activities, autocross, swap meet, dyno, drag race, and more. Daily tickets are $20 at the gate and parking is free. More info at c10nationals.com. And now 102.5, 106.3 The Game wants to send you to C10 Nationals. Text Nationals to our contest line, 615-737-1025, for your chance to join in the festivities.
Are you looking for Tennessee grown and crafted THC, CBD, Delta 8, Delta 9 products? Then float on over to ounceofhope.com. On top of the widest selection of luxury edibles and smokables, their customer service team is high quality and prepared to help select the right cannabis product for your needs. Their knowledgeable team will have you flying high with a smile. That's ounceofhope.com, made locally in Memphis. Ounce of Hope is Memphis Flyers' best cannabis shop 2 years in a row. Legal THC delivered to your door. ounceofhope.com.
Hey folks, Joe Rexford here. Listen, to do the job I do, I got to stay on the move, and sometimes that can catch up to me. Even when it does, I always enjoy natural and enjoyable ways to de-stress my mind and body, and that's why I use the high quality and wide selection of THC and CBD products from OrderGreen.com. OrderGreen.com is the nation's #1 online shop for all things cannabis, and man, I'm in Tennessee, but it makes me feel like I'm in Colorado, and they can be delivered right to your doorstep. Save 25% now on every shipment of gummies with a subscription. That's OrderGreen.com. Subscribe to save 25% on gummies.
Jonathan Hutton.
You have to put the ball in his hands in that moment.
And Chad Withrow.
My kicker's making no decisions on a football team.
Are in the game. Join them for NFL postgame after every Titans home game. Live from Landshark Bar and Grill in Margaritaville on Broadway. They'll break down that day's game and look ahead to the next one. NFL postgame is presented by Two Rivers Ford, Renter's Warehouse, and Superbook Sports on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, this is Roman Yossi. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Hello, Roman. Enjoyed having Roman Yossi, the Predators captain, on the show yesterday. The Athletic has put out a preview for the Predators this year that we will discuss a little later on in the show. But I know Titans press conferences have been going on right now. Nick and Connor have been monitoring that. Back, I think Connor's there today, Nick.
Yes, he's here.
Awesome. They've been monitoring that back at the studio. But was Todd Downing asked the question by somebody in the media?
Yeah, he was. It was Teron Davenport. I'll have that ready for you just a second.
All right.
All right, TD.
I look forward to hearing this because, TD's asked that, to Vrabel, but I'm curious to hear Downing answer it. I mean, look, when you struggle as an offense and you're the play caller, I mean, the heat's going to be on. And that's something that Todd Downing, I think, is facing right now.
The heat is on. The heat
Glenn Fry.
is on.
Glenn Fry, R.I.P.
I just remember it from, was it 48 Hours or Beverly Hills Cop? Beverly Hills Cop. Yeah. That's
They're making another Beverly Hills Cop, by the way.
Are they?
They are.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man, that's pretty scary
Yeah.
because the last Beverly Hills Cop they made, Beverly Hills Cop 3, no go.
Yeah.
One spectacular.
2 was good.
Solid sequel. 3, no. When Eddie Murphy was at the amusement park and falling out, I think, come on, man. Come on.
Well, I know there was a picture on Twitter of, Eddie Murphy and Judge Reinhold, like the whole cast. I mean, the original cast is pretty much back.
Sweet. Oh, wow.
So I'll see it.
I'll go watch it. Yeah.
I'm open-minded.
Yeah. I mean,
now, do they have the chief? The police chief. That's my favorite guy. The guy that just reams out Eddie Murphy every time.
No, they don't.
His boss.
He's
think
gotten
he
into some
dead.
trouble. Yeah,
Oh.
but
really?
he has passed away. But before that, it was some turmoil in that.
Oh.
Some stuff was going on.
Oh, and he got killed in the third movie, didn't he? The character.
I think he did. The character
Okay.
he did get shot. He got shot, I believe.
To me, he's one of the great guys that makes that
Yeah.
film. I got your boss on the phone. What's his name? Chief. Oh man, what's his name? I love him.
You'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
All right, here's Todd Downing, Teron Davenport asking the question about his job status.
I don't know if you follow like all the things being said about the team, but as soon as there's a struggle offensively, they say fire Todd Downing. When you're getting blamed for everything, like how do you handle that and just continue to keep your head down and do what you have to do?
Yeah, I will tell you very bluntly, I can't pay attention to all the stuff that's going on out there and all the opinions about me. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and I respect the fact that people have jobs to do and people to find to place blame on and all that. I know that I'm responsible for the offense. I know that there are certain things that come with this role, responsibilities, critiques, and kind of constant evaluation that comes with this role. But I can't afford to let somebody else's opinion cloud what Coach Vrabel thinks of the job I'm doing or what John Robinson thinks of the job I'm doing or, frankly, what the players in the locker room think of the job I'm doing. I owe it to them to give my best. And in that process, I really try hard to maintain my identity. I work my tail off, and I do it for a bigger audience than trying to get the praise of man. I don't really do this job to be celebrated in the media. I do this job so that I can be the man I'm called to be in the role that I have, and hopefully I can continue to improve in that at every turn and help get this offense where we want it to be.
Titans offensive coordinator Todd Downing answering questions about people calling for his job. Look, I hear that answer. That's the first time the three of us have heard that. I saw it circulating on Twitter, but he could have dismissed that. He could have been like, "Hey, I'm not worried about that. I don't pay attention to the noise," and then moved on. Mm-hmm. That was a very detailed answer.
Great answer.
And I agree. I thought he could not have handled that any better.
I think,
and Teron asked it the right way too.
Yeah, it wasn't. Teron asked it in a way that it was not directly coming at him.
Yeah,
but sort of, hey, listen, this is what. Because it's always, my mom has always told me, it's not what you say, it's how you say it to people.
Yeah.
And you can get your point across and say what you want to say, but it's just how you say it to someone. But that answer to me tells me that he has heard what has been going on.
Of course he has.
And he knows that this offense isn't playing to the ability that they think they should be playing at. This offense isn't as fluent as it needs to be or has been in previous years. Yes, your audience, I understand what he's saying, and that's more so on a spiritual level. I get that but that's something whatever you do, it should be for that reason, and not to please, because you can't please everybody. But you have a job to do.
Right.
And your job is to make sure this offense come out and they're productive, and that you don't keep making the same mistakes over and over again. And your audience is the head coach, the GM, the players, and your fans. That's who your audience is. And you're working to potentially have another audience, being a head coach. Because to me, when you're in that position as an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, your thought is, I want to be a head coach. I don't think anybody ever sits and say, I just want to be D coordinator, that's it. Or I want to be an OC, and that's it. That's as high as I want to ever climb. If you're thinking that way, then why are you even in this game? You always want to be better than where you're at. To me, again, He understands and he hears what's being said. But I understand from this standpoint, and I said this before, and I will continue to say it. An offensive coordinator is only as good as his players. An offensive coordinator is only as good as you execute the play. I can call any play out there in the world. Heck, you can have Bill Seifert. You can have, whatever great offensive mind you want to throw out there. You can have Andy Reid come here. You can have Doug Peterson call plays for this team. If they are not executing the play the way it's called, it's not going to work. It's going to make the offensive coordinator look bad. And I'm not even talking about Willie and Chase dropping balls. I'm talking about those little things that people don't see, like that sweep play. People just, that was a bad play. Or if you know the game, you saw that Taylor didn't get his block.
Right.
It wouldn't have been a 40-yard gain. It would have been enough to get the first down. So he understands that. But he can't say anything about, the players. He got to say it's all me. He came up to the podium the last time we heard him talk. Hey, that was my fault. I shouldn't have called that play. It was a bad play. No, it wasn't a bad play. It was blocked wrong. But you can't say that as a coach. But he hears the noise, Willie. He hears it.
Oh, everybody hears the noise. I do think it's important how you're able to process it, because I do know some people that do like, away from everybody else, to vent to somebody, somebody away that they trust, and say, can you believe this yo-yo and what these jokers are saying? They have no idea that X, Y, Z is going on. They don't know what I'm dealing with.
And I'm sure that's what he's saying behind closed doors.
But you have to, as long as you are secure in what you're doing. And to me, I feel it sounded like he's pretty secure in the backing he has from Mike Vrabel, which is important. Hopefully he feels like he's got the backing of the player. Those things are more important. And what's important is that he stays very true to what he wants to do. Because I can tell you, just for me personally, if I call a game and I see somebody on Twitter say, what is Willie talking about on this call? He got this wrong or something. And listen, you do screw up on these calls. Just like on these shows. We screw up all the time. Remember the who was it? The Duke of Earl got us, right? And we got us all bent out of shape for a second, right? If you allow that stuff to sink you, it will sink you.
Yeah.
Right. You can really get down on it could have you really messed up.
But that means you're not made for the job.
That's the thing. That's what I'm getting at. You have to be able to, after about 30 seconds, say, all right, I'm putting that aside. I've processed it. It's gone now. Now I'm back ready to go for the next play, the next game, the next show. It's just like Todd Downing. He's got to take that criticism. He's got to process it and say, none of that really matters. It's all noise. I got to stay true to what I'm doing here.
But you know why?
People have been buried about that before. I think.
But you know why people continue to feel as if they can continue to say, well, he's not the guy and this and that. It goes all the way back to when he said that was my fault on that play. And it wasn't your fault. That was the right play to call. Again, it wasn't going to get you 40 yards. It was going to get you the 2 yards that you needed. But when you get up in front of everybody, I understand falling on the sword. I get that. But then there's a point where you say, hey, listen, again, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Hey, listen, that play that was called, somebody asked you, that play that was called, hey, listen, we just got to do better as a team. On that play. Me as a head coach, me as an offensive coordinator, the players, we just need to be better at certain plays or specialized plays that we call. End of story. That's how you do it. But you made it seem like it was just your fault. You've never heard Vrabel it's my fault, that play didn't work. Vrabel's going to take on a lot because he's a head coach, and he has to. But he's not going to sit here and second-guess himself about a play. That play that you ran has worked before, huh?
Publicly.
Exactly. He's not publicly because it's like, no, we are a team. We do this, we win as a team, and we lose as a team. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, that was a bad play that I called, or that was a bad play the offensive coordinator called. I'm going to say, as a team, we just need to be better.
Yeah.
Downing opened himself up to the criticism after that. After what he said like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but I think the criticism had been there.
Yeah,
To a degree, yeah. To a degree, it has certainly been there. Coming up next, history was made last night. Can more history be made in baseball? We will discuss that coming up next. It's Chase, Willy, and D-Mase. We're live at Bridgestone Arena today in the Jack Daniels Barrel House here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
College football.
Touchdown, Georgia. Nice catch and move by Holden. Touchdown.
Lives here. Don't miss every exciting play each Saturday.
Into the end zone. Touchdown to the freshman, Dane Key.
It's all presented by Twin Peaks, your home of 20-degree drafts and wall-to-wall sports, and by Superbook Sports on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Week 4 gets started tonight, baby, and it is a good one. Bengals, Dolphins start this week off right with a no-sweat same-game parlay from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Joe Rexford here to let you know it does not matter if you're new to FanDuel or if you already have an account. You're going to get free bets back either way if your Thursday night same-game parlay does not hit. Same-game parlays, perfect way to combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payday. You can go player props, you can go point spread, you can go money line. Look, I'm telling you, I like Bengals on the money line. I like Joe Mixon over on the rushing yards, and I think Jalen Waddle anytime touchdown is how I would do it. There's endless possibilities for you. Build your own. Choose from one of the popular same-game parlays pre-built for you in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. However you want to play, you can bet the NFL Thursday night with no sweat same-game parlay. Sign up with the promo code Joe102 if you don't have an account. If you do, you're all set. See what you got. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. You must be 21 or older in present Tennessee. 3+ legs, minimum dollar bet required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet $5. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbet.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call the Tennessee Red Line 800-889-9789.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus. Another beautiful day ahead of us here. After a warmer start by about 5 to 10 degrees, the afternoon will be a little bit warmer as well. Highs in the middle 70s with unlimited sunshine. Next rain chance comes on Saturday.
Brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Finishing jobs on time, never being idle, and powerful equipment. Meade has the John Deere excavating equipment and the smart grade technology solutions for you and your business. Power your business with a new, used, or rented excavator and get the performance you expect and service you can rely on. Call us today for the equipment built as tough and reliable as you, or visit us at meadtractor.com. That's meadtractor.com.
Here's another remarkable success story from QC Kinetics. This one from Chad, who hurt his knee at the gym one day, and it just kept on hurting for months.
From my high school football and wrestling days, I already had a little bit of damage in there, but this just sent it over the edge.
Chad tried traditional treatments with no improvement when he turned to the non-surgical regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics.
It was really fascinating how they did their work, and the science behind it was very intriguing, and it works. Extracting the cure out of my own body blew my mind. It's like I'm brand new again. It was fantastic.
That's because the QC Kinetics natural biologic treatments use your body's own healing power to restore damaged tissue in your hips, shoulders, back, and knees, providing long-lasting relief.
Now I'm back at the gym. I'm 100%, feeling great.
If you're tired of suffering with pain from arthritis or injury, call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024. 615-249-4024.
312 Pizza Company is the official sponsor and location of Southeastern Carolines with Caroline Fenton.
Jared Stillman.
This is a team that the entire city is losing their minds over.
Caroline Fenton.
It's one of the youngest teams in the league. They don't have a single player over the age of 30.
Stillman and Company. Afternoons from 2 to 6.
Presented by TriStar Moving.
On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
I'm ready to step this up a notch.
You're listening to Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McKay, Willy Donick, Derek Mason with you. Nick Keyser, intern Connor, back at the ranch. The Hillside Medical Game Studios. You know, I teased baseball, and I thought that we were going to hear Pennant Fever. I really did. And that it would have made sense.
Yeah, but
you know, that's all right.
The youngin'.
It's Nick's favorite song.
I let out some big roars last night. I can tell you this: when the Mets came back from 4-0 down, I was
so the Mets
son and I were fired up.
The Braves lost.
The Mets were having a nightmare at home, down 4-0, seventh inning, just no life it seemed like, and then they worked their way back and found a way to win.
Oh yes, this weekend's gonna be great. Yes.
So we'll see if the rain. They're a little more optimistic about getting the games in. As it's moved forward. You never know.
So when is the first game? Saturday?
Friday night.
Friday night?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday is when they're scheduled.
Yeah.
And then there's one series after that, which, as we found out last night, you just never know, even though you're playing a team that you should beat. In baseball, just like hockey, as Derek almost kicked the table over for a second
table
time.
over again. I need to stop that.
Yeah.
This thing rolled.
Exactly. Me either. The brakes must not be on this thing. It must have
it's
brakes.
right there.
It's the beauty of baseball. Just like hockey, right? Every now and then, even it happens in the NFL, a really bad team beats a really good team on an occasion. And the Nationals last night somehow beat the Braves in extra innings. The Mets had lost the Marlins the day before, so it ends up a wash. And the Mets have a one-game lead. And they have Jacob deGrom, Max Scherzer, Chris Bassett, their top three, ready to go.
Yeah. Well, obviously.
Just like the Braves have rested their rotation. They've got their best guys ready to go, too.
Obviously, the big story last night, Aaron Judge finally hits number 61. Did it in Toronto against the Blue Jays. Now, there was kind of a Nashville connection.
Yeah, there was a really interesting story with that. Because you know how it is when you hit a historic home run.
But you would have to give it back anyway.
Something. Well, you own the ball. You can do whatever you want, right? Some people, a fan, they just say, hey, I want to give it to that person. It's a special thing to them. It's much more special. Other people are like, they see dollar signs as soon as they get that ball.
But that ball is supposed to go into the Hall of Fame, right?
Well, I mean, it all depends on where you are. There's some people who are just like, hey, man, you put that thing on eBay, you're going to get some money.
So the bullpen coach for the Blue Jays is Matt Bushman,
right?
Who played for the Sounds at one time, or no?
Well,
he
played at Vanderbilt.
Played at Vanderbilt.
But
for some reason, I thought he came through with the Sounds.
He probably played against the Sounds a bunch of times because he spent a long time in the minor leagues. He did spend some time in the major leagues, but he was a organizational soldier, really, really good professional pitcher. Excellent, but he was part of the first crop of players that Tim Corbin had that elevated the Vanderbilt program that got them going. Jensen Lewis, Matt Bushman, Jeremy Sowers.
Yep.
Ryan Mullins, who was a great pitcher at Father Ryan. But and this is where I'm going to give my coach a little bit of credit. Roy Mewburn recruited a lot of those guys, and then when he left, Tim Corbin had some things to work with. We talk about sometimes it helps jumpstart a program when you get left a little bit of something to work with. And so that was the case for Tim Corbin, and that really sped up his ability to build what he's built today. Yeah. So Matt Bushman, just like a lot of the former players for Vanderbilt, they not only are they everywhere on Major League rosters, but they're now turning up as coaches. And so Matt is one of them. He's married to Sarah Walsh, who was at Channel 2 for a long time. I'm not sure if you were still playing. So you know Sarah. Sarah still covers the NFL. Been with ESPN. Based down in Florida, where in the Tampa area.
So I have her tweets that you're alluding to.
So first, Judge hits the home run. Big moment. It's number 61. A guy reaches over.
I saw that.
Two guys had a chance at it. They had a chance. And it would have been a tough because you can't, you can really hurt yourself if you fall over that railing. We've seen fans do that, and it can be scary. Like a guy actually died. They're over the years. I mean, you can get seriously hurt.
Exactly.
But the guy reaches over with his glove, can't quite get it. So it falls into the bullpen, and Matt Bushman gets it.
So, first tweet. There's a picture of Matt Bushman holding the ball. Sarah Walsh, his wife, tweets, "Bad news is I'm down here in Florida battling a hurricane. But the good news is I can announce my retirement."
Right, because that ball is worth a ton of money.
But he gave it back.
Right.
So the next tweet, "Oh, cool. He just handed that back without checking to see if our house is still here. I'd like to announce our divorce."
But I think he had to give it back because it fell within the field of play. So if it falls within the field of play,
in the bullpen.
But I'm saying it fell within the ballpark. It didn't go in the stands. As a coach, you can't then take it and say, "Oh, it's mine."
Yeah,
because the league is going to be like, "Give it here, give it here."
Well, it's Aaron. I mean,
now let me say, what if he had flipped it up into the stands? Would that have been?
Because
that's what a lot of regular
fans would have been mad.
Fans are always calling for foul balls throughout a game, and a lot of times a guy who's just down there will just throw it in there, throw it to a kid, or something like that. So he didn't do that.
If you caught a ball, like a historic ball like that, what would you do with it?
Okay, I think it's different if I work for the team. Like if I'm Matt Bushman.
I'm saying you don't work for the team. You were in the.
I'm
you
a
and
fan.
Mahoney are in the outfield.
I'm a fan. I
catch the ball.
That's a great question. I would want the player that hit the home run to end up with the ball. I would like to.
I would too.
And I would hope.
But I would like some things in return.
We'll have to negotiate. We'll have to negotiate.
See, that's the thing.
And I would say, hey, listen, I want to give because being a former athlete, my first thing is, okay, I caught it great, but it's his ball. Like I'm gonna give it back. Yeah. But y'all got it's like, listen, because if I was just some Joe Blow that wasn't a part of a professional team and didn't understand, what this truly means, I would be charging you X amount of dollars. So my thing is, okay, let's just negotiate here.
Well, and I wouldn't even care about money unless it's somebody I don't like.
Signed,
if somebody I don't like, sign the check, baby. like if it was Manny Machado, you paying me.
See, this is the ethical discussion,
right?
Because
that's still ethical.
I like
for
Judge.
Money.
I have respect for Judge, so I would say this is what I want.
But it does. You're saying it does matter who the player is.
It absolutely matters because if they're a jerk,
Yeah.
then screw them.
But
you
why
can do
should
whatever.
the player, whether he's a jerk or not, to get the ball,
Barry
have
Bonds,
to write a check?
I would make his ass pay me.
Well, people would. I mean, it was really big when that was going on in McGuire and so. So
Mark McGuire, probably make him pay me too.
Different people have done different things. The guy that hit, that caught, I think number 60, whatever, one of the first big ones that McGuire hit, he just marched the ball back to McGuire and he didn't ask for anything. Other people held out and they auctioned the ball off just to see how much money they could get.
Pujols, I'd give it to him. I respect Pujols. But here's what I want.
It doesn't matter who the player is to me. I would want the ball to end up back in the player's hands. And I would hope that as a matter of reciprocity, that there would be a nice gesture to me. But it is interesting how you could say, look, I could put my kids through college on this ball right here.
I would want a signed ball. Give me another ball that you have signed and that you write on there what the home run was. And then I'd want tickets to opening day the next year, and then maybe if you can hook me up with the World Series, something like that.
Yeah, it has to be something like that.
That's what I want.
But some people would say you're crazy because
you
could have gotten $800,000 or $1 million or whatever some goofball was willing to pay.
Right.
Yeah,
again, if it's somebody I don't like, sign me up.
I'm still negotiating.
Like if it was,
hey, listen,
I'll tell you this.
I know how much you want this
if
ball.
If it was Ronald Acuna,
you want this ball, don't you?
You're gonna laugh at this. If it was Ronald Acuna, he's paying me too.
Okay.
And when they say, "Why? You're a Braves fan?" He should have run out at first base 6 years ago.
You're still mad at him, and y'all got a championship.
So you want to hand over the ball, but you want to lecture him for a couple minutes.
I would lecture him, and I think Brian Snicker would appreciate it.
Okay.
And appreciate my passion. All right, it is silly underdog picks time. We'll do that coming up next. 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
You love the game.
The door's on the board. Strike three, sounds win.
We live the game.
Going up against that defense, he can make some plays and take that next step.
We got pass rushers.
Checkered flag in the air.
Awesome game 7.
What a stop made by Houston Sarah.
The Game. Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Hey football fans, Patrick Mahomes here, and I'm here to tell you that with NFL Sunday Ticket only on DirecTV, you can watch your favorite team no matter where you live. Because NFL Sunday Ticket gives you every live out-of-market game every Sunday afternoon. So switch to DirecTV and learn how to get the 2022 NFL Sunday Ticket season included at no extra cost. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
With choice package and above, 24-month agreement required. Call for details.
Go
prefers. Now with Edwin Watts Golf Shops, it's time to hit faster, longer, and straighter with Titleist. The new TSR drivers are designed to maximize distance and elevate your performance. Titleist TSR driver, pushing for perfection every day. Come into Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the new Titleist TSR drivers and get custom fit for free today. Can't make it in store? Visit us online at worldwidegolfshops.com. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee and family owned and operated since 1968.
When joint pains cause you to sit out on everyday activities, it's time to make an appointment with Dr. Matthew Beal at Houston Clinic Orthopedics. Dr. Beal can diagnose your problem and treat the joint pain for both surgical and non-surgical matters. Board certified and fellowship trained, Dr. Beal specializes in hip, knee, joint replacement, and adult joint reconstruction. Visit tn.houston.com to learn more about Dr. Beal and to book an appointment online. Houston Clinic Orthopedics, when experience matters.
312 Pizza Company is a family-owned restaurant located in the heart of Germantown, serving up authentic Chicago-style eats right here in Nashville. 312 Pizza Company only uses the best all-natural ingredients and makes everything in-house from scratch every single day. And trust me, you can taste the difference. They've got deep dish pizza, thin crust pizza, their Italian beef. You'll taste the freshness. Stop in for a pint of local beer and a slice of pizza, or order online at 312pizzaco.com. 312 Pizza Company, Nashville's authentic Chicago pizzeria.
Hey guys, Jeremy here, General Manager at Blend Bar with Davidoff Cigars. We are the go-to spot in Nashville for the best old-fashioned, a nice relaxing cigar, and lots of high-end spirits and wine. Are cigars not your thing? No problem. We have the best ventilation system in the industry that provides a fresh, clean atmosphere for you and your friends. We are here to provide you a trendy, upscale experience in the heart of downtown. Check us out at 508 Church Street. Blend Bar with Davidoff Cigars. Luxury redefined.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, broadcasting on Alexa.
I appreciate that.
And other smart speakers. 102.5 and 106.3.
Terang, it's a high fly ball.
We got pass rushers.
Awesome game. Second flag in the air.
The Game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Now let's see if we can bring them to life, all right?
Bringing you entertainment and informative sports talk during your workday.
Smart, funny, classy, and I like him a lot.
This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase with Chase McCabe, Willy Donick,
Mason, touchdown, Tennessee,
and former NFL wide receiver Derek Mason on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app.
This is a new level of geek you got going on.
There's no need to fear. Underdog is here.
That's right, silly underdog picks. Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. We do it every Thursday at noon. It's presented by Volunteer Hose and Gasket and Superbook Sports, voted #1 sportsbook in Vegas. Download their app today. We say hello to the panel. Of course, I'm here. Derek's here. George Plaster, Chris Sanders, Kelly Holcomb, all here with us today. Gentlemen, how are we?
What up? Good.
Fantastic. George, have you talked to Matt Bushman about his handing the baseball back?
You know, I haven't, but that's a pretty honorable thing he did.
Well, we were just discussing it, and I would be charging, but that's just me.
I absolutely would not be charging.
Okay, there you go.
Give me the money.
There you go. He would not.
Let's negotiate here.
Yeah, George says no. But all right, I like that. All right, Willie, we will turn things over to the commissioner because we got to get moving, and we will review.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your commissioner speaking. Welcome in.
Hey, everybody, your commissioner speaking.
It's another week of the Silly Underdog Picks.
Oh, my goodness.
Presented by Superbook Sports and Volunteer Hose and Gasket. Your commissioner is ready to recap Week 4. We'll give you the online numbers here in just a moment. But let's recap what's happened in our competition.
First of all, Willie, whoop-de-doo that you're ready.
And George, we are sitting in the exact same spot. You're not, but we are, where Kelly made the pick, the infamous pick of the game that was already underway. In one of the great moments in underdog history.
George is still
one of my finest hours, and that, you know, in lieu of winning, making a fool out of Kelly was awesome.
Kelly did win. You should, as a sidebar, Kelly did win the competition that year. He was the eventual champion, so it ended up being a good thing.
That was his first championship, I believe.
That's a good one. I cannot verify that because he's won more than one, I believe.
Yeah.
No, he's won once. No, more than one, Chris.
Let the record show, he says. Okay.
Let the record show.
Congratulations to our online winner last week. It was in a tiebreaker. Ralph Williams, who resides in the borough, Murfreesboro, 33 points, and he took the tiebreaker over Russell McBay. So congratulations to Ralph. The most popular picks online in our competition is Rippin' and Warren, so keep playing every week on theGameNashville.com. You've got your choice when you win the weekly prize of a concert or a sporting event. Cliff Ricardo from our promotions department will give you the choice and some of the options you have in each department. Florida, 31% of the audience had Florida as one of their 3 picks over Tennessee. And, of course, Florida didn't look at the 2-point chart and maybe had a chance to get back in it, but Tennessee got the win. But 31% went down with the ship there. 21% went with Rutgers, a home dog against Iowa, and, boy, they laid an egg. The Scarlet Knights under Greg Schiano did not play well whatsoever. So those two by far, well, actually, there was a close third. That was Wake Forest. 20% of the audience took the Deacons against Clemson. We'll get to that one in a moment. So let's go ahead and review.
Did anyone pick MTSU?
That's a really good question. Let's take a look. How many people had the Blue Raiders? I'm sure some people did. 8 people. 8.
Oh.
Nice.
Man, they got some big points for that
8
one.
people took middle. So
what was the spread for that one?
25.5, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Chris didn't pick that.
I kind of do.
That sounds like a Chris Sanders kind of pick.
Exactly. That's a Chris special right there.
What's wrong with you, Chris?
All right, let's find out who they did pick. George Plaster did take the ever-popular pick of Wake Forest. The Demon Deacons, a 7-point home dog against Clemson. Big crowd. Exciting game. Wake Forest is right in it the entire way. They torched Clemson defensively all day long. It went to double overtime, and Wake Forest failed on 4th down in the second overtime, and they go down 51-45. George, they had a shot. They had a really good shot.
They really did. You know, I'm not all that upset about it. I don't think it was a bad pick. I love what Wake Forest is doing. I don't pretend to know what this whole mesh thing does, but I'm convinced this guy Hartman may be the only person in the country that can run it, because he comes within an eyelash of getting his head taken off about 50% of the plays, and yet he lives to tell about it. I'm really impressed with him, and I'm impressed with them.
Yeah, the slow mesh is becoming the lingo, and more coaches, I'm sure, are looking around and go, what are they doing over there at Wake Forest? How do we do that? Because it works, no question. Derek Mason had the second pick, and he shocked everybody. He took a team that I believe nobody has ever picked. in the underdog competition. This goes back to 1994. He took Fordham, a 17.5-point dog. Famous alum from Fordham, Vince Lombardi himself, who played for Fordham back in the day. He wasn't playing on Saturday, but Fordham goes to Ohio.
Well, no crap, Willie.
You never know with the ghosts. Jason Faber, you can tell who's in last place
Exactly.
with that comment. Fordham is a 17.5-point dog at Ohio.
Yes.
Now this is a absolute crazy offensive game, kind of like Clemson and Wake Forest. It's 53-52 Ohio late in the game. The quarterbacks have passed for over 1,000 yards. Fordham actually had the ball up 52-46 and a chance to go up by 2 scores, which maybe would have put the game away. They have some penalty problems. They had to punt it away. Ohio comes down and scores. It's 53-52. Still time for Fordham. They got a timeout left. They have decent field position. They get a holding penalty. And then the coach argues with the ref and gets an unsportsmanlike. They go back 25 yards, and that kills them, and they try one of these lateral plays, and Ohio scores on the last play.
Don't work.
59-52 is the final. Fordham had it won. I was texting Derek and saying, Derek, you got it. They're going to win. I actually pulled it up on ESPN+.
The commissioner's jinx. That's what that was.
Exactly. Don't do that again, okay? Listen, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know these two teams in and out, because I don't. I just looked at it, and I felt that Fordham, based upon who they played against who Ohio played, I thought Fordham was just a better team. But like Jack Nicholas said, wait till they get a load of me next. Watch who I pick.
Oh, my. Hey, Willie?
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, George.
And this isn't meant to be smart, Alec. Is this tackle football?
Yes, it's tackle football.
George, it's two-hand touch. Two-hand touch.
After I was watching that game. Yeah, after I was watching that game
this week, Sienna.
Hey, I need to see if Sienna's playing.
Yeah. Take a look.
Hey, after I was watching that game, I was ready to tender my resignation into the game.
I knew one person. If I had won that game, I knew Kelly was going to be so mad. He was just going to quit.
I was about to call in and quit the game.
Kelly said he was on the verge of quitting if Fordham had won, but they did not. It was tight, though. So 17.5 was in the palm of D-Mace's hand. Chris Sanders, who we know likes to go deep, he's leading. He came in with 47.5 points. He went with Colorado, 21.5-point dogs against UCLA, but this one flopped. UCLA goes to 4-0, 45-17 was the final, and Carl Durrell, the former offensive coordinator at Vanderbilt, former head coach at UCLA, he is on the hot seat.
Man, it was bad, man. I just turned it off the first 5 minutes of the game. But I got to go back to this Fordham thing.
Fordham.
Fordham. After shave lotion. Hey, give me some of that Fordham. But other than that, my game was whack. I'm good.
Yeah, not as much texting from Chris during Saturday's competition. He did have a better Sunday, which we'll get to in a moment. Chase McCabe takes a game. This was very interesting. Took Missouri, a 7-point dog at Auburn. At Auburn. Now, Auburn, they got the angry fans. They got embarrassed by Penn State the week before. The game is 14-14 late. Missouri drives down and has control of the game. All they've got to do is kill the clock, get the ball to the middle of the field, and kick about an extra
26.
point. 26 yards. 26. Out comes a kicker who looks like Charlie Kerfeld from the Astros.
He's a fat kicker. They had a fat kicker. You can never trust a fat kicker.
And he missed. He missed for 26. But no problem. We go to overtime. Auburn lines up for a field goal, and the guy misses it by, I kid you not, 30 yards.
Now y'all see why I don't like kickers.
He kicked it to Tuscaloosa.
He kicked it to Tuscaloosa. The problem was Missouri jumped offside. So he gets another shot at it. He makes it. No problem. Missouri's got it. No problem. We still got a chance with the ball. So their best running back breaks loose He's going
gone.
in. He's gone. He's going in for the score.
It's done.
He's at the 1 yard line. He reaches the ball towards the pylon.
Which he didn't need to do.
And it slips. It goes right through the end zone. Auburn jumps on it as it goes to the back of the end zone. Game over. Auburn wins. It's like Auburn, everybody in the stadium was saying, please
lose, Auburn.
Please lose so we can fire our coach. We'll get a new guy. We can move on. And Missouri's like, nope. That's okay. We want it. Here's the game.
We don't want to win.
So Chase, again, second week in a row, losing in overtime in a game that your team had the game won.
As my good friend Rick says, overtime, where bets and silly underdog picks go to die.
That was stunning.
There you go.
That was stunning. That brings us to Kelly Holcomb, who's trying to get back in the competition. He picked Texas Tech, 7-point dog at home against Texas. They love when Texas comes to town in Lubbock. They will go crazy. Everybody wants to beat the Longhorns. And yes, Texas Tech, with the comeback, wins in overtime, 37-34.
Kelly got some points.
Gets it going.
Hey, all I'm going to say is this: go Red Raiders. And another thing, I'm kind of disgruntled. I want to know if anybody else is disgruntled. I mean, we're all competitive guys. But I don't need the commissioner on the text messaging. I don't need that. We don't need you on the text messages. Like, you have all you do is just tell everybody you're doing what you do now. We don't need all that gibberish on Saturdays, dude. We don't need it. Leave it out.
Kelly's going to block Willie.
Yes.
He's going to block me. I think these are very entertaining texts. I think it's a great banter on the text chain. I think it's a good thing that the commissioner's doing. But, man, there's some bitterness from Kelly. Bitterness on the text.
But after the 33rd text, I'm with Kelly.
So.
Well, yeah, we're probably clogging up the memory on George's iPhone 3, so that's probably the problem there.
Oh my goodness!
Oh boy. Okay, on to Sunday quickly.
That wasn't a bad line.
Thank you.
Kelly had the first pick of the pro picks. He took the Jets, a 6-point home dog against the Bengals.
You can move on. Don't worry about it.
Move on.
Keep going.
Because the Jets did not show up. 27-12, Bengals get on the winning side. Chase took Miami, the Dolphins, with an impressive win as a 5.5-point dog against the Bills, 21-19. The Bills didn't get it done late. Miami is undefeated. So, Chase, better to get the 5.5.
I'm off the schneid.
Off the schneid. Still in the cellar, but
oh, wow. Nice way to knock him back down, Willie.
Chris Sanders had the third pick. He took the Colts. 5.5-point dogs against the Chiefs. As the home dog, the desperate Colts got it done. They got a little help. The Chiefs goofed up everything in the special teams category you could. And the Colts got the final drive and won it, 20-17. So Chris adds to his lead with 5.5. D-Mace took the Jags, 7-point dogs on the road against the Chargers. Not only did they win, they crushed the Chargers, 38-10. It wasn't even close.
Jaguars are for real.
And then Plaz took the Commanders. And he really told everybody how much he loves Daniel Snyder when he made the pick. And they got whipped by the undefeated Eagles 24-8. So these are the standings at the end of 4 weeks. Chris Sanders, 4-3, 52.5 points. D-Mace, 4-3, 40.5 points.
Okay.
Third place, Kelly Holcomb, 3-4, 17 points. Plaz, 2-5, 12.5 points. And Chase, also 2-5. 11.5. So those are our standings after week 4. When we come back, it'll be time to make the picks for week number 5. D-Mace has got the leadoff spot, followed by Chris Sanders.
Let's go.
Chase McCabe, Kelly Holcomb in the 4-hole, and then Plaz has the wraparound pick, the final college pick, first pro pick. Stay tuned. You're listening to Silly Underdog Picks 2022, presented by Superbook Sports and Volunteer Hose and Gasket.
Your home for the MTSU Blue Raiders is 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. Every touchdown.
Yes, touchdown.
Every three.
Free ball, yes, sir.
It all lives here.
Middle Tennessee.
You can also hear the Blue Raiders in the Borough on 97.5. Middle Tennessee Athletics on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's... Nah, they're not that type of superhero. They're the betting heroes. BettingHero.com helps savvy and first-time bettors select the best sports betting site for your experience level and alerts you to the best promotions and deals. Visit BettingHero.com today and get thousands of dollars in free sports bets, including risk-free offers where everyone's a winner. They're not a sports book. BettingHero.com is your guide to sportsbooks. Cape not included. BettingHero.com supports responsible gaming and encourages moderation and self-exclusion where prudent.
Majestic in its scope, dazzling in its sound, there is nothing to match the experience of hearing, live in concert, The Planets. Experience the ultimate trip through the galaxy. Hear The Planets as Giancarlo Guerrero and the Nashville Symphony perform Gustav Holst's sonic celestial showpiece. Also, Tchaikovsky's virtuosic violin concerto with Augustine Hadelich. Tickets begin at $29. Call 615-687-6400 or order at NashvilleSymphony.org. Now through Sunday at Schermerhorn Symphony Center. The Planets with the Nashville Symphony.
Bar Lines in the Omni Nashville Hotel.
Hey Nashville, it's Chef Philip at Bar Lines at the Omni Hotel. Come try our new Nashville hot fish and chips. Beer battered black cod served over crispy fries or tots with Omni's own Nashville hot season blend. Served with chipotle slaw and malt vinegar tartar sauce.
Attending an event downtown? Dine at Bar Lines in the Omni Nashville Hotel.
Are you looking for Tennessee grown and crafted THC, CBD, Delta 8, Delta 9 products? Then float on over to ounceofhope.com. On top of the widest selection of luxury edibles and smokables, their customer service team is high quality and prepared to help select the right cannabis product for your needs. Their knowledgeable team will have you flying high with a smile. That's ounceofhope.com, made locally in Memphis. Ounce of Hope is Memphis Flyers' best cannabis shop 2 years in a row. Legal THC delivered to your door. ounceofhope.com.
It's on. It's happening. Remember, you can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter.
Get out of the way, I'm watching the game.
Presented by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Okay, it's time to make the picks for week number 5, Silly Underdogs 2022. Brought to you by Superbook Sports and Volunteer Hose and Gasket. Forever Titan Chris Sanders in the lead, followed by his former teammate Derek Mason, Kelly Holcomb in third place, Plaz in fourth, Chase bringing up the rear.
We've already gone over this.
So let's go to D-Mase with pick number 1 from week 5.
Man. Grease lightning. I couldn't say the words, you know. All right. I am going with.
I thought you already had your.
I had it, but I looked at it wrong. But here's what I'm going with. I am going Purdue over Minnesota. Minnesota's a 12-point favorite in this game. I think they are.
It is.
Is it 12?
11 points
11?
On
11.
The Superbook. 11 and a half.
All right, 11 and a half is what we're going with Superbook Sports. The Boilermakers playing on the road against undefeated and 21st ranked Minnesota, a revenge game because D-Mace's Michigan State Spartans got thumped by the Gophers not long ago. So Purdue is the pick. So this week, Derek goes back to a Power 5 conference and not to Fordham. Or nobody else in the Yankee Conference or whatever.
Well, I started to go with Texas State and James Madison. But then I'm like, nah, that's too much of a Chris pick. So
Man, I don't know if we'd ever found that one.
Yes.
All right.
All right, moving on. Chris Sanders, the leader in the competition, has the second pick.
He's going to pick Missouri.
Go.
No.
All right. Here's my pick. This is what I was going to do. I kind of changed my mind the last minute. I was going to go with UConn because it's plus 24.
Oh, boy.
But I got to go with Boston College over Louisville.
I thought about that one, too.
no.
Oh, I thought about
There
that
it
one.
is.
I thought about it so strong.
Yes.
A Jared
I'm going
Stillman
Boston
special. Boston College is well, let's see what we got. Superbook Sports.
16.
I have 15.5 here. Let's
got 16.
verify.
I think it is.
I
think it's
had it and I lost it. So
Boston College at 1-3, hosting 2-2 Louisville.
Let's go.
In ACC competition. It's on the ACC network Saturday morning at 11.
At 10 o'clock. 10 a.m.
Can we verify 15.5?
I'm trying.
Okay.
16.
No, it's 15.
don't
Let's
know
just
where
say
it went.
15 for now, and we'll go back. We'll go back. But
All
who's
right,
next?
moving on.
15.5, yes.
15.5 is official. All right, let's go to Chase McCabe, trying to move up from 5th place of 5.
Behold the king, the king of kings. On your knees, dog.
So I'm sitting here going, all right, do I want to let Chris and D-Mase keep throwing downfield and I just try and chip away? I think that is going to be my strategy. So that's what I'm going to stick with right now. I am going to take Wake Forest plus 7 against Florida State.
Ooh.
Very interesting. Wake Forest at 3-1, ranked 22nd, taking on Florida State, 4-0, ranked 23rd. Wake Forest, a 7-point dog. Are we surprised that that line is quite that big?
Yeah, I am.
I'm a little surprised. I think Wake Forest is very, very good. But going on the road, tough one. The Noles look like they're better at Bobby Bowden Field. All right, that brings us to Kelly Holcomb, who is moving up to 3rd place, still a ways from the lead, needs points, and he's in the 4-hole.
We can skin a buck and run a trot line, and a country boy can survive. Country folks can survive. Country boy can survive. Country folks can survive.
I done got me some moonshine for the weekend.
All right, Sanders, my hatred for you is only growing. It's only growing, my friend. My first pick is obviously gone. So, you know what? I am going to say the South Florida Bulls beat the ECU Pirates.
Ooh.
Ooh. Okay.
9.5.
There you go. South Florida is a 9.5-point home dog taking on the East Carolina Pirates. That's Saturday at 1:30 on ESPN+. The South Florida Bulls.
Interesting pick. I look
Very interesting pick. Okay, let's move on to Plaz, who's got back-to-back picks.
Hey, Willie,
Yes, Plaz.
never in the history of this game has anybody sat in the 5-hole and had this easy a pick. Why is Kentucky an underdog? Go Big Blue.
I had it.
This was discussed off air among the panel here.
Why are they the underdog?
Crap. Why didn't I take that?
Kentucky is a 7-point dog on the road at Ole Miss. Both teams 4-0. Of course, this is at Vaught-Hemingway Stadium. But, yeah, 7. If they're not going to be favored, 7 is still pretty good points. So Plaz has
let me tell
Kentucky.
you this. It's time. This is there's a lot of what does Vegas know that we don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what. I will be stunned if Kentucky goes in there and lays an egg. I'm going to win this one.
Oh.
Is it?
Whoa.
Is it a?
The bucket?
You're damn right it is.
Yeah, there it is.
He did it. It's the first bucket of the season from Plaz, and it will be duly noted by the commissioner. Okay, Kentucky on the board. So, George, now you have the first pick in the NFL, the National Football League.
Yes, I'm aware of what it stands for.
Oh, boy.
Willie, even though I don't totally believe in this one, I'm going to take the Titans. I think they got a chance to go to Indy and win, mostly because I don't think Indy's very good.
Well, the Titans are a 3.5-point dog.
Yep. 4.
Oh, give them 4
He's
on
getting
Superbook
4.
Sports. Okay,
Yep.
It's moved to 4. Titans on the road against the Colts, where they have won the last 3 meetings up there after going through a long drought.
Jim Irsay is angry about that.
Jim Irsay is not happy about that. That brings us to Kelly Holcomb for his pro pick.
Good pick, George. You know what? I'm going to say that they've got a couple of defensive linemen out, so I'm going to say the Miami Dolphins will stand on their win streak and beat the Cincinnati Bengals.
Ooh.
Tonight.
That game is tonight.
3.5.
The Dolphins, 3.5-point dogs in Cincy against the 1-2 Bengals, trying to get back into the race here. Dolphins, one of the big talks of the league right now. Tua and company, 3-0. All right, that brings us to Chase.
All right, well, it's still there. I thought this game would be gone by now. I'm going to take the Jags on the road.
No, Jay.
The Jags on the road plus 6.5 against the Eagles.
No.
The Jaguars, 2-1 at Eagles. 2 teams that are in that mode right now. Wow, they're a lot better than we thought, or at least it looks like it. Jags, 6.5-point dogs, coming off of their big win against the Chargers. All right, that brings us to the Forever Titan, Chris Sanders.
I am going to go with the Texans over the Rams. Not the Rams. Who are they?
Chargers.
Well, yeah, Chargers.
Other LA teams.
One of those LA
Yeah,
teams.
one of them.
Plus 5.
Busters. I call them busters. Yeah.
Texans
they
are
are
5-point
struggling
dogs.
team, man. They are struggling right now.
Okay, the Texans, 5 against the Chargers. Chargers, yeah, what's going on with them? All right, and that brings us to D-Mase for the final pick.
Man, I was like Florida Evans over here when you made that pick.
I'm sorry.
Man, I'm like, gosh. But heck, we had talked about him so much, so, hey. I'm going with the Ravens over the Bills. They play in M&T Bank Stadium.
Could be a
The
really
Bills
good game.
got some injuries. So I think you got the battle of the front runners in the MVP right now, Lamar and Josh.
All right, Superbook Sports rep, do we have officially 3 points on that one?
That is correct.
Okay. All right, let's recap. We've got the picks in. Week 5, Silly Underdog Competition 2022, brought to you by Superbook Sports and Volunteer Hose and Gasket. Derek Mason, right now in second place, has Purdue, an 11.5-point dog on the road at undefeated and 21st ranked Minnesota. Chris Sanders, the leader in the competition, selects the Boston College Eagles, 15.5-point home dogs against the Louisville Cardinals. Chase McCabe, stymied the last couple weeks in overtime, frustrating picks, trying to move up out of the cellar, selects Wake Forest, a 7-point dog on the road at Florida State, 2 ranked teams out of the ACC. Kelly Holcomb goes into the American Conference and goes with the South Florida Bulls down in Tampa, a 9.5-point home dog against East Carolina. Plaz, in his first booklet of the season, says the wrong team is favored.
Yeah.
The 7th-ranked, undefeated Kentucky Wildcats are a
gonna get that one.
7-point dog against Lane Kiffin and the Ole Miss Rebels, playing at home also 4-0. Plaz comes back around and takes the Titans, 4-point dogs on the road at Indy against the Colts, huge division game in the AFC South. Kelly Holcomb with his pro pick goes with the undefeated Dolphins, 3.5 points on underdog in Cincinnati against the Bengals, defending AFC champs. Then Chase McCabe takes the Jaguars, much to the chagrin of his co-host, Derek Mason, who went nuts when he took him. Jacksonville, 6.5 points, the underdog in Philly against the undefeated Eagles. Chris Sanders then goes with the Houston Texans, a 5-point home dog, taking on the Chargers, who just got drubbed by the Jags last week. And then finally, Derek Mason takes one of his former teams, the Ravens, a 3-point home dog against the Buffalo Bills, who are trying to bounce back from that tough loss down in Miami. Remember, you can play with us by going on thegamenashville.com, and you make 3 picks, college or pro, your choice. Just make the picks before Saturday at kickoff. Those are our picks for week number 5. And gentlemen, good luck.
Yeah, go Braves.
Go Braves.
Stay off text. Willie, stay off texting this weekend.
Okay. I can't promise anything. I'm having too much fun.
All right, guys. Have a good week.
Appreciate you guys. Take care.
Yep.
See ya.
George Plaster, Chris Sanders, Kelly Holcomb joining us for Silly Underdog Picks, presented by Volunteer Hose and Gasket and Superbook Sports. We will come back and discuss something that I heard on the morning show earlier today on Robbie and Rex Road about a team being more popular than the Titans. We'll discuss that coming up next. 102.5, 106.3 The Game. But, Willie, tell us about Lone Pronto.
All right, let's talk Lone Pronto. They are wanting to help you right now deal with the financial times that we're in. And right now, if you are a homeowner, one of the best things you've got going for you is your home's value is way up. So if you're looking for cash and you need it to address something, maybe it's a home improvement project, maybe it's just to pay off credit card bills, maybe something else for you, they have ways of doing that. One of them is something that we did for our financial needs. It's called the HELOC, a home equity line of credit. And so with your home's value up, you're sitting on a pile of money. So don't let it sit there. Use it, just like I did. I called Lone Pronto, 615-499-5780. I worked with Roger Moore. He's got a lot of people that he can help you with as well. They talked me through the process. They told me about the strategy and how the whole process works. It's all digital. And I never had to go meet with anybody or drive anywhere or bring paperwork anywhere. It was a very, very smooth process. And just in a couple of weeks, we had our HELOC locked and ready to go and ready to help us. Lone Pronto makes unlocking that equity easy, and they can probably even waive the appraisal. 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
This is Tanner Janot, and this is Smashville.
And now down the right wing side, Tanner Janot. His shot, he scored! Tanner Janot with the shot!
This is the flagship of the Nashville Predators Radio Network. ESPN 1025, The Game.
Paul Feinbaum here for the Southeast leader for cranes and equipment rental, Craneworks. The Craneworks team in Nashville, Birmingham, and Mobile is ready to make your next construction or maintenance project a big success. Give Craneworks a call for your next lift, machinery moving, or rigging project. And don't forget, RentalWorks has a full line of rental equipment for jobs, both big and small, and now offering qualified operators for all equipment, including aerial and earth-moving equipment. Call Craneworks at 877-282-LIFT or visit them on the web at craneworks.com.
Winning this award is truly like winning the Super Bowl of car dealer awards for Mercedes-Benz.
Edwin Vickery, General Manager of Mercedes-Benz of Music City.
Culture eats strategy for lunch. You have to hit on all cylinders to win this award. You can strategize all you want. You got to still have the right tools, and our tools are our people.
Live the dream with 3-time Mercedes-Benz Best of the Best award winner, Mercedes-Benz of Music City. Go to mbofmc.com.
College football season is here finally. It's me, Caroline Fenton, and you already know that I am pumped up for college football season. And Southeastern Carolines, you know that 312 Pizza Company is my favorite place in town. 312 Pizza Company is a family-owned restaurant located in the heart of Germantown, serving up authentic Chicago-style eats right here in Music City. You can catch every down of the college football season at 312 Pizza Company. From week 1 to the national championship, 312 Pizza Company is your home for college football season.
Harman Energy is now hiring drivers for their Nashville team. Harman Energy is Tennessee's petroleum solution for major industries. Right now, they're offering competitive compensation. Fuel tank wagon drivers start at $26 an hour. Fuel transport drivers, $29 an hour. Plus, there's a $4,000 sign-on bonus for CDL drivers. Top quality benefits and a great place to work, Harman Energy employees provide totally outrageous customer service. Come be an employee owner with the Harman team. Apply now at harmanenergy.com.
Injuries on the job can be devastating to both employees and employers. Your employees are in pain, may lose wages, and want to get back to work. Your business has lost a worker and may not meet goals and profits. Houston Clinic Orthopedics offers an extensive workers' compensation program to your business and your employees. They will work with you from start to finish, managing everything from appointment scheduling through reimbursement. For more details, call Houston Clinic Orthopedics at 1-800-323-8858.
Feliciano lines a base hit to left, and the Sounds win.
Your home for Hit City is 94.9 The Fan.
Your Nashville Sounds are back in action Saturday night in Las Vegas against the Durham Bulls for the International League Championship. Pre-game at 7:50.
On your home for Sounds baseball, 94.9 The Fan and The Fan app.
Hey, this is John Hines, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 1025 The Game.
Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 1025, 1063 The Game. Chase McKay, Willy Donick, Derek Mason with you. We're at Jack Daniels Barrel House at Bridgestone Arena. It is Predators game day. That's brought to you by Social Furniture. Shop today and get rewarded with social cash back. Buy $1,000, get $125 cash back on your Social Furniture gift card. Shop local, shop social in West Nashville. Appreciate them being part of our Preds game day coverage this year. I wanted to get into this, and we're a little behind because it's silly underdog pick, so we'll get back on track. But Robbie and Rexroad were having a discussion this morning. We'll hear what they said, and then we'll give our thoughts coming up. But this was the discussion: are the Vols more popular than the Tennessee Titans?
Look, I do think this is a pro sports now. Okay.
Yes.
Like that's what happened. You a bigger city, you have pro teams, and we do talk Titans way more than Vols, and we talk Preds through the year. We talk Preds quite a bit, right? I mean, quite a bit more than Vols, I would say.
Yeah.
It's a tough one because that said, I still feel like, and again, I said this on the text line to somebody. I think if you're able to consider Nashville like the mid-state area or greater Nashville, if you can expand it some, then I still think you might count up more Vols fans than Titans fans. Maybe I'm wrong. If you go strictly Nashville proper, then I think it's easier to say there's more Titans fans. I mean, I'd love to to somehow have this tallied up. Now, I don't think there's any comparison in size of fan base, right? I mean, we should all be able to agree on that. When you have a huge public university, especially and with this kind of tradition and everything, you're just churning out, like, you have a huge fan base all over the world that I would say dwarfs the Titans fan base. Would you agree with that?
Well, yeah, and I'd also add to that and say if you extend this conversation to the state as a whole, I don't think it's overly close.
That's not close.
There you go. Robbie and Rexroad this morning discussing the Vols fan base basically being bigger than the Titans fan base. You guys hear that? Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I look at it differently. But just for time's sake, I'm just going to say and then elaborate
we can
later. Yeah. I'm just going to say I think that the enthusiasm for the Titans are in this area. I think it overshadows the enthusiasm for the Vols. Just in this area. I'm not talking Knoxville and the surround. I'm just talking middle this area, Nashville, Franklin, Brentwood, the surrounding area. Nashville, period. Nashville.
I think it's interesting to think back and hear Joe's perspective because, he's still relatively new to the area, so he's got a unique perspective on what he sees. I go back a little further. I didn't grow up here, but when I came to college in '89 to Vanderbilt and then started doing sports talk in '93, this was years before we had the Titans or the Predators. So back then, it was all SEC. It was all Tennessee, Vanderbilt, and on down the line. The SEC was the central thing that you would talk about and then branch out to the rest of the national picture in college football. We didn't even talk NFL that much. Like, it was hard to get a discussion going on the NFL unless you were talking about big playoff games or something like that. So it was very, very different. So it has evolved a lot. One thing that they touched on this morning I thought was a good discussion was so many people have moved to Nashville in the last, let's just take 5 years. Now, in the last 5 years, if you move from your hometown, let's just say you moved from Chicago. If you wanted to stay with all of your teams, let's say you're an Illinois fan and a Bears fan and a Cubs fan, all you got to do is pay a little extra, and you can continue to get the same media coverage in the same games. You can watch all the same games you've always watched. Whereas when the Titans first got here, you were kind of stuck watching them. You were getting them every week, whether you liked it or not, and you were going to hear all the talk on Sports Talk about them. You were going to hear all the talk about the SEC. So if you were a transplant, it was harder for you to keep your ties to your roots. Now it's a lot easier to stay with your roots. So I do think that affects how much is going on. So I think the Titans are the dominant force right now for all those different reasons. And Tennessee is just, I think people are just as interested as they've always been, the same people that always have. It's an enormous following. It's just covered in a different way than it used to be.
So we will take your calls, your texts, 615-737-1025. Do you believe that the Vols are more popular in this area than the pro team, the Tennessee Titans? 615-737-1025. We will do that coming up next. But can you beat Vegas this football season? Superbook Sports gives you the chance every week to go head-to-head with the best odds makers in Las Vegas. There's no fancy computer algorithms, no guys across the pond setting lines for American sports. It's just the best team of odds makers in the business behind the counter at the Superbook in Las Vegas. I tell you what, I like Kentucky +7. I'm mad at myself for not taking it in underdogs. George got it, but I like Kentucky +7 on the road at Ole Miss. That is a very good pick this week. Plus, Superbook features some of the best odds boosts and promo bets anywhere. So download the Superbook Sports app, or you can visit superbook.com and start your battle against Vegas right now. Do like I do. Make them your official sports book. They are my official sports book. You can visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789.
Let's put the green flag in the air and turn them loose.
Nashville's home for NASCAR.
He's going to try to make a big move here.
It's brought to you by the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. We are your racing station.
ESPN
1025 and 1063 The Game. And the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus. Another beautiful day ahead of us here. After a warmer start by about 5 to 10 degrees, the afternoon will be a little bit warmer as well. Highs in the middle 70s with unlimited sunshine. Next rain chance comes on Saturday.
brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Hey, all you veterans with a VA loan, if you're feeling the sting of high interest rates and high costs, your home equity can rescue you. Hey, Willy Donick here. Don't be fooled by those so-called VA lenders with high fees and high rates. Call my friends at Loan Pronto, the area's VA loan experts. They can refinance you and get you instant cash from your equity. With a VA loan, you can access up to 100% of your home's value. You can refi with Loan Pronto and pay off the high-rate credit cards and other loans. Consolidate everything into one low payment. Loan Pronto's average VA borrower saves $975 a month. If your home mortgage rate comes up a bit, it's offset by your credit card rate going to zero. When rates drop back, they'll refinance you for free. Call Loan Pronto and unlock that equity and wipe out debt. Be credit card debt-free for the holidays. Call 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
Hey, Robbie Stanley here, and football season is underway, so now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. All you got to do is sign up with promo code ROB. Most weeks I'm going with the Buffalo Bills. Tough loss last week to Miami, but I think they respond in a big way. Look at the Green Bay Packers the next few weeks as well. That schedule starts to lighten up. But take it any way you want to take it, all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. So sign up today with promo code ROB for your no-sweat first bet. Once again, that promo code is ROB. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. Refund issued is non-withdrawable free bets that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Got a gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Hey everybody, Big Joe here for Apple Collision Centers. And you know I'm always on the go, but the distraction that an automobile accident causes could even slow my pace down to a stop. But my friend and CEO of Apple Collision Centers, Stan Harrison, has a plan to get you and I back on the road and fast.
We at Apple Collision Centers know you deserve the best quality service. We always recommend original equipment parts, and we use only the best Sherwin-Williams finishes. 3 convenient locations, Hendersonville, Gallatin, and Oak Hickory. And you can always visit us online for your estimate needs at applecollisioncenters.com.
We gather together in communities across the nation to remember and honor, to celebrate and support, to light the night. We are LLS, and when we walk, cancer runs. Find your local event at lightthenight.org.
Robbie Stanley.
To avoid non-contact injuries and not repeat last year.
Joe Rexroad.
Just wait until next year's national TV schedule comes out.
Robbie and Rexroad. Mornings from 6 to 10 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
I'm ready to step this up a notch.
You're listening to Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. We'll join Big Joe Dubin and Elijah Campbell tomorrow for the Apple Collision Center's Game Blitz, presented by National Playmakers Academy from 6 to midnight. They'll preview, actually it'll be more like 8:30 to midnight. They'll preview the big games and then take you through the night of high school football around the mid-state. It's the Apple Collision Center's Game Blitz, presented by National Playmakers Academy on 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McKay, Willie Donick, Derek Mason with you. We're live at Bridgestone Arena in the Jack Daniels Barrel House and discussing, do you believe the Vols are more popular than the Tennessee Titans? 615-737-1025.
And this is not based on any study that's been done, right?
No, they were just asking a question.
I thought it was a good discussion that they had.
Yeah.
Andy texts in and just says roll tide. So
see, that's what I was just discussing during the break. Listen, it's different. NFL fans and college fans are totally different. You know, if you have an Alabama fan that moves to Tennessee or moves to Nashville, there's no way in heck he's going to cheer for, he or she or his family or their family is going to cheer for UT. Just like UT fans that may move here, they're not going to cheer for, or they may move to Alabama. They are not going to cheer for Alabama just because they live there. They still have allegiance to their team.
No question. And this is something that when the Titans arrived, they were the Oilers at the time, when they were selling PSLs originally, that was one of the things they marketed. Hey, look, all of you Alabama fans and you LSU fans and Vanderbilt fans and all of you that live in Nashville that root for different teams on Saturday, let's all bond together and let's root for our team here.
Exactly.
That was the idea. So I still think that's the case. I think that's way more in terms of the numbers. The Titans are way more popular. Plus, the NFL has just even grown in popularity since then. In the last, it's massive. So to me, it's really not close. But I don't think the Vols have lost any fans. I think it's different how people follow their teams with podcasts and all the different ways you can get your information on teams. And people may be a little less inclined to drive to Knoxville every week for a game. Maybe they did a generation ago, but now they go less. They still care just as much.
But they watch from home.
They watch from home a little bit more.
I look at it from this standpoint, Chase, because I think there will always just be, at least in this area, the area that we're in, there are always going to be the Titan fans they will always have more excitement for the Titans than they probably do for the Vols, just in this area. Now, if you're talking about the whole state, then it's a different story. Like Rex Road and Robbie said, it's a different story. I think it's overwhelmingly UT, but just in this area. Because we all grew up in the sport together, meaning this. My first year was 97 with the team. The first time that this city has ever had a NFL team was 90. Well, it ended up being 99, but I'm saying we moved here in 97. So we all sort of grew up in this league together. So we all have this allegiance to this team, to this one team, because this is all we know. This is all even the people that are moving here from other cities, they don't mind rooting for the Titans, especially the last 5 years, because they've been winning. They're still going to root for their team, but they're also going to root for the Titans as well. They've seen how the city has grown because of the Titans. Yeah. Just imagine this city without the Tennessee Titans. It wouldn't be what it is without the Titans or the Predators, two professional teams.
It's changed the whole outlook.
It changed it tremendously. This city is not growing the way it's growing without the Predators and the Titans. We all know that. And we all sort of grew up in it together, whether it be hockey or NFL. So you're going to have a stronger and tighter allegiance to that team, and excitement's going to be a little bit more. If the Preds are on a Stanley Cup run, the excitement from everybody is there. When the Titans are on a Super Bowl run, everybody is excited about the Titans. It's not, you don't have that group that's saying, I don't like the Titans. No. But you have that in college football. If the Vols are doing great, there's probably about 30,000 or 20,000 Alabama fans like, oh, they still suck. They're horrible. They're going to lose to us. But you don't have that with the Titans.
One point that Joe Rexroth made this morning I thought was a good point is in Vanderbilt's situation where they have alumni scattered all around the nation, they've got some here, but really not enough to sustain and really do what you need as a fan base. And it should be automatic. Like you need to market to your alumni. And
but they have no history.
Fans. Well, the history isn't great for football.
Yeah, that's what
right?
I'm saying. I'm saying the football isn't great.
Over the years, the fans of just Nashville have eroded because they're going to the Predator games and the Titans games and now the soccer. Mm-hmm. So it's making it hard. But Joe said, I think it's an interesting marketing strategy would be all the people that have moved here, how can I get some of the people to adopt Vanderbilt as my second team? Like I might be a fan of, Kansas or Illinois or, somewhere up north like Pitt. But if you've moved here, hey, we got great college football here. How about adopting Vanderbilt as your second team?
It's who you hire.
Yeah.
It's who you hire as head coach. Because I think
obviously you got to have an attractive team.
You got to have an attractive
team.
But I think a lot of people bought in. They made sort of the second team when James Franklin was here. Oh, so the Vandy's my second team now because they're doing some good things, exciting.
He created a little bit of that excitement.
He created that buzz on the Derek Mason, and then hopefully on the Coach Lee that you adopt Vandy as your second team.
A couple of texts to read real quick. Kyle says, it's anecdotal. However, living in Brentwood, I rarely see Vols gear, stickers, flags, etc. I see Titans flags and gear daily. I think in Middle Tennessee, especially Nashville, there's a collection of SEC, Big Ten, and ACC alumni. And with that, go green.
Go white. See, we everywhere, Willie. Yeah. We everywhere.
Well, look, I saw the first few years of Predators Red Wings games here. Uh-huh. So you knew how many Michigan transplants. There's a lot of them that have moved down from that area. Chicago's the same way. Mm-hmm. There's a lot that have moved down here. They're there. And so that was part of the Predators had a promotion. You may remember this when you were a kid, Chase, but you could turn in your Red Wings gear and get some Predator gear, and they would have this fun ceremony. We've converted. You've officially been converted to a Predator fan.
Well, I remember that, and I remember I was in high school and did a job shadow at Channel 4 with Terry Bulger, and we did a story on Nash, who was camping out on the Needle on top of the arena. And he was going to stay up there until they sold out, and it was the first ever sellout of a game against the Red Wings outside of opening night. I think the inaugural game was a sellout. But
interesting.
Yeah. So, look, we're going to continue this conversation. We have Adam Sparks coming up from the Knoxville News-Sentinel. He covers the Vols. He'd be great to ask this question, too, because he's lived in this area as well. We'll do that next, and then we'll get back into this and take your calls and texts at 615-737-1025. It's Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5-106.3, The Game.
Stuck at work without a radio?
Wait a minute. Disastrous.
I hate that.
It's got to be there.
That's okay. Download the Game Nashville app or go to thegamenashville.com and listen live. We are Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3. The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Attention sports fans, your favorite sportbook, BetUS.com, is back for their 28th year of NFL action with the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%. BetUS offers their members the opportunity to cash in on all your favorite leagues, including the NFL, NBA, MLB, and more. They've also got hundreds of new casino games, including the coolest European slots, and their dealers are waiting for you at the table. You need a sportbook with integrity and longevity. You need to know that you will get paid. You need a sportbook that offer everything, including live betting, MMA, golf, horse racing, esports, and all kinds of crazy bets. Call today at 1-800-79-BET-US. That's 1-800-79-BET-US, and they will walk you through setting up an account. Nobody in the industry gets better bonuses than BetUS. Join now, mention 1025, and you can get up to 200% in bonuses on your first deposit. Nobody beats that. Head to BetUS.com and join today. That's BetUS, where the games begin.
Looking for a big diamond? Genesis Diamonds introduces our Elite Collection, all new for this year. These are large, rare diamonds in the top 1% of the world. 3 carat, 4 carat, 5 carat, up to 10 carat precious diamonds for the most discriminating buyers who appreciate quality. Genesis owners travel worldwide, tapping a vast network of diamond cutters, carefully hand-selecting each of these remarkable diamonds. We invite you to view this premium collection of GIA-certified diamonds, rounds, cushion cuts, emerald cuts, even fancy colored diamonds in size and quality never before seen here. And to showcase these exquisite stones, only Genesis has the finest handcrafted rings from all the world-class designers. If 2020 is the year you're upgrading her original diamond, or you just want to go big for the first time, no need to travel to New York or Los Angeles or Antwerp. Genesis Diamonds' elite collection of large precious diamonds is here in Nashville. Genesis Diamonds and luxury pre-owned Rolexes, Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Get your game on at Social Furniture. Entertain in style and make your social experience more comfortable with new furniture. Everyone loves to socialize. That's why you need new furniture. Save big. Professional same-day delivery and installation. Finance interest-free. Get rewarded with social cash back. Buy $1,000, get $125 cash back. Buy $3,000, get $450 cash back on your Social Furniture gift card to spend on accessories, new TV, sports events, or anything you like. Huge selection in stock. Shop local. Shop social.
The Nashville Sounds are playing baseball through September 28th, which means more picture-perfect nights from the patio at 3rd and Home, known as Germantown's Bar with a Ballpark. Open for lunch and dinner Wednesday through Sunday, but the food and the patio experience while you watch a game are where it's at. For more, visit thirdandhome.com.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne.
Robbie and Rex Road, Chase, Willy, and D-Mase.
Stone and Company. Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3.
Terang, it's a high fly ball.
We got pass rushers.
Awesome Game 7.
Checkered flag in the air.
The Game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Now let's see if we can bring them to life, all right?
Bringing you entertainment and informative sports talk during your workday.
Smart, funny, classy, and I like him a lot.
This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase with Chase McCabe, Willy Donick,
Mason, touchdown, Tennessee,
and former NFL wide receiver Derek Mason on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app.
This is a new level of geek you got going on here.
Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3, The Game, live at Jack Daniel's Grill House today. It's Fred's Game Day, brought to you by Social Furniture. Shop today to get rewarded with social cash back. Buy $1,000, get $125 cash back on your Social Furniture gift card. Shop local. Shop social in West Nashville. Chase McCabe, Willy Donick, Derek Mason with you. We say hello to our buddy Adam Sparks, Knoxville News Sentinel up there in Knoxville. Adam, been a while. How are you?
Doing pretty good, guys. How y'all doing?
Doing fantastic. We're just having an interesting conversation. I think you're the perfect person to ask this to because you've lived in Middle Tennessee. You cover the Vols now. And do you believe that the Vols are more popular at this point in the state than the Tennessee Titans?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Easy answer. I think that's the case for any time that the Vols are really good. Like you said, I lived in West Tennessee for 20 years. I lived in Middle Tennessee for 20 years. I'm in year 2 of East Tennessee. Across the state, that seems to be the case. Now, I think you can make the argument that it swaps a little bit just in Nashville, but the rest of the state, I don't think there's any question. If the Vols are down and the Titans are up, it's a little closer. But otherwise, if the Vols are good, the Titans would have to be in the Super Bowl, I think, to catch them. I think that's just a simple fact.
Well, the Vols are up right now. They beat Florida last week for the first time since 2016. They improved to 4-0 with the off week and headed to LSU next week. When you watch Hendon Hooker, his Heisman odds continue to go in his favor. I believe he's the 4th favorite now to win the Heisman Trophy. Do you believe that if he continues to play this way, he could have a legitimate case for it?
I mean, I'm a Heisman voter. If this was an end of September award, he'd probably be on my ballot. But it's not. It's an end of the year award, and in this era, the way you get into the way you get to New York as a finalist, especially the quarterback, is you got to have great stats. I think he'll probably finish the year with great stats. I mean, right now he leads the SEC in total offense and in passer rating. That'll get you there. Then you've got to have your team in the conversation of the playoff, the national title picture. They'd have to beat Alabama or Georgia to be in that. And then you've got to have a so-called Heisman moment. I don't love that condition, but that's just sort of what it is. And for him to have a Heisman moment, it probably would have to happen in the Georgia or Bama game. So he's in it now. The Bama game in a couple weeks and the Georgia game a few weeks after that will determine if he stays in it.
Now, Adam, I'm watching that game this past weekend, and I've seen several of UT's games. And, the offense is explosive. It's just as explosive or even more than any other team out there in college football. And it's led by Hooker. And they've been able to do some wonderful things in that Josh Heupel offense. But what concerns me is the defense, and more importantly, the defensive line. They can't generate any pressure with just rushing forward, and it seems like when they blitz, they still can't get any pressure. Will this ultimately, you believe, be their Achilles heel?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the debate is what's the bigger issue. Mm-hmm. The pass rush, the front seven, how much, like you said, that you have to use of the front seven. Because when they have brought pressure, they did in the Pitt game, but kind of what you mentioned, there was a lot, some with linebackers, a lot with safeties and blitzing corners in that game. Is it that, or is the bigger issue coverage? I saw a lot of guys running around, or maybe not even running around, standing still a lot in zone coverage against Florida, where it looked like they were covering air, and receivers running pretty free. I thought there was a lot of miscommunication. Linebackers didn't help when they would drop into coverage. I think the big issue for Tennessee is that I think their pass rush, especially within the scheme, can get better. I think there's some personnel there. There's things in the scheme they can use. They showed that in the Pitt game. I don't know that their coverage is going to get significantly better. It's not like they're going to get a lockdown corner, that shows up on campus next week. What they have is what they have, and they're going to have to work with it. Last year they had similar issues. They got better in the second half of the season. If the defense can get incrementally better, that may be the difference between 8-4 season and a 10-2 season. I think it's as simple as that, because I don't see the offense not scoring on everybody they have left on their schedule. They'll score on Alabama and Georgia. They'll probably still lose those games, but they'll score on everybody else. That defense obviously is going to hold them back, if anything.
Now, I mean, if you look throughout the SEC, and you're talking skill guys, wide receivers or tight ends, very seldom are you going, at least over the last, say, 5-6 years, you didn't look at Tennessee. You looked at Georgia. You looked at Alabama. You looked at Ole Miss, those schools. But it seems like Tennessee this year have got at least 3 legitimate pass catchers on their team. Do you see it that way?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a debate, I think, for a little while with Josh Heupel. It is with the quarterback. It is with wide receivers. Are these really good players, or is this a system that good players can benefit the most in? Because Jalen Hyatt was fine under Jeremy Pruitt, but he's really good now. Cedric Tillman, we saw nothing of in Pruitt's offense, and he was a preseason All-American coming into this year. And then you sort of further that point maybe last week when they lose Cedric Tillman, arguably one of the best receivers in college football, and they plug Ramel Keaton in, which, unless you followed Tennessee, you didn't know who Ramel Keaton was, just sort of a typical backup, and he comes in and does about what Cedric Tillman was doing. So, I guess that's a good thing for Tennessee, obviously, that they can go to their twos and they can look like one. That speaks well of the system. I do think Cedric Tillman's going to have to be back and healthy if they're going to have any chance of having that sort of special 9-3, 10-2 type year. I'd say right now he's questionable at best for LSU. I would say he's much more probable for Alabama, but he may be well enough for LSU next week. We'll see.
We're talking to Adam Sparks, covering the Tennessee Vols. So, Adam, a question for what's happening in your circles. Over here, people are so excited. They're already starting to talk about, hey, 10-2, where would that get you? Could that maybe get you into a discussion here if it's the right 10-2? How is it over your way? Are you hearing that a lot? And what's your sense? Is it maybe pump the brakes and let's see how this plays out? Or do you think legitimately that's that's a plausible scenario?
Well, I mean, I think by nature the Tennessee fan base overreacts. And that's
really?
No.
And that goes both ways too,
yes.
Right? It's fire the coach on Sunday, or it's make your reservations for the national title game on Sunday. One of the two. I think things are a little tempered now. I will say that a lot of the emails, tweets, questions that I got right after the Florida game was about the defense. And what's wrong with the defense? And you think, why would that be after that huge win they've waited so long for? But to be on the defense. And the way that I interpret that is people are seeing what could keep this season from being a phenomenal season, and it would be the defense. In other words, hey, that was great, but you can't beat Alabama with that defense. You can't beat Georgia with that defense. You've got to get that fixed before that. And that sort of tells me that that the standard has been raised, or at least the expectations have been raised. If they could, they could drop one to LSU and Alabama and Georgia, or just drop one somewhere else along the way. If you're 9-3, you're probably going to the Citrus Bowl, which is great. That's a great step for Josh Heupel's program. If you could lose those two and you're at 10-2, if the playoff thing works the way that it could with Georgia and Alabama, you could be in the Sugar Bowl. 10-2 would also get you. I've seen projections of the Orange Bowl as an at-large. So, there's a lot of those things on the table. It's just there's such a small sample size, but the way that people look at it, if you can beat Pittsburgh and you can beat Florida, then you can beat LSU. If you can beat LSU, you can beat Kentucky. If you can beat Kentucky, you can win, Missouri, South Carolina, Vandy at the end of the year, and you're 10-2. But you can have a bad day, and if you have a bad day, you can lose to any of those teams.
It's interesting, too. You get to watch LSU this week in a intriguing game. It's Auburn for a lot of different reasons, right? Everybody wants to see how much Brian Kelly can get them to improve week to week in his first year. And then you've got everybody kind of anticipating the train wreck at some point. When is the shoe going to drop down at Auburn? So what an interesting game to sort of watch as you sit back and enjoy the bye week.
Yeah, I want to see if Jaden Daniels is healthy. I want to see if that LSU thing starts to come together. I mean, LSU is a mobile quarterback, if he's healthy, like Florida did. That could be a problem for Tennessee. LSU has much better receivers than Florida, which I think could be a huge issue for Tennessee. And, I want to see where the confidence is, because if LSU wins that, I think they'll come in at 4-1. Or they would host Tennessee at 4-1. They're not they'd probably be ranked at that point. I don't know that they're good enough. 4-1, I don't think would reflect quite what they are. But the athletes on that team, I think it would be accurate to say they were that good. So Brian Kelly has a team that can, I think, probably be up and down, but on the right day with the athletes that he has, and he's a really good coach. Could be a really, really good team, and Tennessee would have to hit them at the right time to win that game. It's a toss-up game for good reason in Vegas, because I think that one could go either way.
Adam, it's been great to catch up. Enjoy your weekend with the bye, and then we'll be watching closely when LSU hosts Tennessee.
I'm really curious. What was the vote on Vols versus Titans?
It wasn't a really vote.
Yeah,
it's just it's kind of nebulous. It's hard to really equate that. I mean, blame Rexroad. Rexroad's the one that put it out there.
But we did say, Adam, more so in the surrounding areas, Nashville and the surrounding areas. So we knew if you're talking about the state of Tennessee, then yes, Vol fans overwhelmingly are more excited about the Vols than the Titans. But just here in this area,
Davidson County, you probably give the Titans a pretty big edge. But as you go, if you go more surrounding, the further out you go, the more orange you get.
Exactly.
It depends on area code. That's the best way of putting it.
Exactly.
Good stuff, Adam.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good one.
All right, Adam Sparks, Knoxville News Sentinel over in Knoxville, Tennessee. When we come back, we'll have more. We'll talk a little Preds. We'll give you a little sneak peek of what the lineup looks like tonight against Tampa, and we'll do a whole lot more. We got trivia today as well, so stay tuned. This is 102.5 The Game.
The Sports Talk doesn't end on Friday. Join Michelle Knezovic every Saturday morning at 9.
I've got my extra large coffee.
As she talks about the big stories of the week.
Predators news, the Tennessee Titans.
And looks ahead to the weekend.
Oh, I'm so excited.
On Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, football fans. Dak Prescott here. And I'm here to tell you that with NFL Sunday Ticket only on DirecTV, you can watch your favorite team no matter where you live. Because NFL Sunday Ticket gives you every live out-of-market game every Sunday afternoon. So switch to DirecTV and learn how to get the 2022 NFL Sunday Ticket season included at no extra cost. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
With choice package and above, 24-month agreement required. Call for details.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who miss the fairway all day and still pull out the big stick, the type of guys who will always prefer to be behind the grill than in front of the camera, and the men who never let their friends forget about a high school nickname. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
Hi, this is Trisha Yearwood. The Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum is committed to preserving our musical history and sharing its cultural significance. We invite you to join us in honoring thy music and supporting our mission by becoming a museum member. Membership is your key to accessing a world-class nonprofit arts organization here, locally, minutes from your home. Become a member today by visiting countrymusichallaffame.org/membership.
With your home value up again, you're sitting on a pile of money. So don't let it sit there. Use it. Willie Donick for my friends at Loan Pronto. Check out Loan Pronto's Equity Line of Credit program. You don't have to refinance, but can access up to 97% of your home's value. Get cash now to pay off all your credit cards. Do that home improvement project. Get your down payment for a new home or stash away for a safety net. Get $50,000, even $100,000 or more out of your home, and the payments are crazy low. Think about what you can do with $100,000 right now. Loan Pronto makes unlocking your equity easy, and they can probably even waive the appraisal. So don't just let all of that home equity pile up. Turn your house into an ATM and get the cash you need. Call Loan Pronto now, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
National Playmakers Academy with former Vols Bud Fitzgerald and James Stone, along with former Austin Peay Governor Vic Wright, offer one of the best football developmental organizations in the nation. MPA has over 30 NFL alumni, 800-plus college football scholarship signees, and 25 high school football All-Americans. If you have a student-athlete in middle school or high school that is looking for the best football training and college football recruiting help around, contact National Playmakers Academy today, 615-456-2680. Or email april.mpafootball@gmail.com.
The Nashville Oktoberfest is quickly approaching, and now's the time to get your dirndls, lederhosen, and party steins ready. From local breweries to live music and festival artisans, you can't go wrong celebrating this Germantown tradition. The Nashville Oktoberfest 2022, Thursday, October 6th through the 9th at Bicentennial Mall in Germantown. Prepare yourself for 4 days of brats, beer, live music, and competitions. VIP experience reservations are still available at thenashvilleoktoberfest.com. Prost, y'all!
We want to hear from you.
Thanks for taking the call.
Join the conversation. Call or text at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 1025 and 1063 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Tune in for NFL pregame this Sunday live from Twin Peaks at 6134 Galleria Boulevard in Cool Springs. You can join Jared Stillman, the dancing Derek Mason, and Chris Sanders from 9:30 to 11:30 prior to the Titans taking on the Colts. NFL pregame is brought to you by TriStar Moving, Prominent Tractor and Equipment, Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, my favorite, Superbook Sports, and Ounce of Hope Cannabis Company here on 1025, 1063 The Game. Chase McCabe, Willie Donick, Derek Mason with you. Appreciate Adam Sparks for joining us. Some of you wanted to weigh in on our discussion that the morning show actually had about are the Vols more popular than the Tennessee Titans in this area. It was a pretty quick answer for Adam, but I know Herb has been waiting patiently on our phone line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. He wants to weigh in. Hello, Herb.
Yeah.
Wait, you there? Well, Herb, unfortunately, you have to call back. Your phone is cutting in and out. So give us a call back, and we'll see if we can hear you better. Because we'd love to hear what you have to say. Some texters on the text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. William from Dover says, I think around Nashville the Titans are more popular. If you go out into the rural areas of the state, it bleeds orange. I don't think that's far off. Viking Matt says, I adopted Vandy as my second team since I lived in Nashville, so it's like cheering for a little brother that wants to play with the older and bigger brothers.
There you go. Hey, we'll
Just
take
quite
you.
not good enough.
We'll take you. We'll take you.
I like that.
Come on in.
Hey, I've adopted Vanderbilt.
Yeah,
I like him.
Who are you with? VU.
That's right.
Is that a James
y'all slogan?
Who you with goes back before James Franklin.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's y'all thing? Who you with? VU.
It's not official. There was a guy named Todd Suttles who was the strength and conditioning coach, and he was a good singer too. He's a really funny, great character, and he came up with the who you with. It was during Woody Ball.
Oh,
and of course, they didn't win a whole lot of games, so it wasn't. But people kind of liked it, so it's kind of stuck around.
You need
Just
something.
Like Anchor Down was a James Franklin.
Yeah.
And that was never before James Franklin.
I like
and
Anchor
that's
Down.
kind of stuck around, even though people like J.R. Lynn, who have an appreciation for history, they Anchor Down is really not a good strategy in a Navy fight. Like if you're going to be, if you put your anchor down, you can't go anywhere.
That's
so
right.
you're kind of a sitting duck for the cannons and whatever they come out. And so James Franklin was like, I don't want to hear that.
Exactly.
We got a good slogan going here.
Anchor down.
Yeah.
That means we're going to stop them. We right here. We plant it right here.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't getting past us.
Right.
I like it.
Yeah, hey, I'm here for it. Yeah, I was actually telling somebody a Woody Woodenhofer story the other day. It's the most famous one.
Oh, man, there's a lot of them. But are you talking about the radio
Joe,
show
I'm
one?
sorry that I said
yes. That was definitely right up there. Now, there's some ones that behind the scenes happened that really were not public. Those were just as funny.
Yeah.
He was one unique guy.
The late, great Woody Woodenhofer. Let's see. Justin says, longtime Titans and Vols fan. I've been in Middle Tennessee since 2005. Grew up in West Tennessee. It's not even close. More Vols fans in Middle and in Tennessee as a whole.
I mean, I wouldn't dispute it whether it was more fans as a whole, UT fans, but the excitement, because if you contrast both teams, and you look, okay, since 1999, let's just take 99, throw 97, 98 out of the window because we were in Memphis or in Vanderbilt. Yeah,
team in transition. Yeah.
I think since 99, and that was UT won the national championship in 99, didn't they?
The 98 season.
98, 97, okay.
Yeah,
well,
since January 99 when they actually played the game.
So after that, I think if you just take it from the 99 season on, I think there's been, and I could be wrong here, there's been more to be excited about with the Titans than there has been with the Vols. The Vols been in turmoil with coaches and just the my alarm's going off in my house. Oh my goodness.
You need to take care of that?
No, I know what it is. Yeah, but
Ginger?
it's just more than likely it's the dogs. It's just those two teams. I think the Titans have been more stable for longer since that time period than the Vols have. You've been able to get more excited about the Titans, I think, than you have been about the Vols. Now I can't the years that I was going, I can't talk about those years.
Right, because I do think there was a lull in there. But the new stadium and the immediate run to the Super Bowl was a game changer. Because I think in 97 and 98, there was a real worry that, hey, what's going on? They can't really get any connection. The Tennessee Oilers really could not connect. They did not have a good feel at the time for marketing, PR.
They had a great fight song.
They botched a lot of performances, where they got out and they would unveil something and it just didn't go well. There was bad weather or something. Nothing was going well. They tried the Memphis thing, which flopped horribly, right? Nothing went well in terms of fan connection there. Then in the following year, they really couldn't even fill the stadium for the Vanderbilt games.
Right.
The games at Vanderbilt Stadium, even though it was a pretty decent team, there just wasn't that real buzz. And people were looking around going, why can't they really get anything going? This is the NFL. At least a lot of people were thinking that way. But it changed overnight. Once they had the Titans name and they started winning immediately, it was just a huge wave. And and Tennessee remained a powerhouse for another 5 or 6 years there, but steadily they got out of the national picture a little bit. And meanwhile, the Titans were getting a little bit more established. So even when they weren't as good, we're talking about just from a Nashville perspective.
Well,
that's when it kind of flipped.
I think that that's where the feels like 98 thing comes in. Like the Vols fans get all like, oh hey, are we back? And Phil, are the Vols back? He wasn't ready. Sorry.
Well, Vols are back.
There you go.
And before long, we'll be taking a bite out of everybody we play's ass. The Vols are back.
Thank you, Phil.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Well, the other thing that's happened over that time, this period of time we're discussing, is little by little, people are less likely to go to a game in person.
Right.
For all the different reasons, the TV reasons, the budgetary reasons, all of that stuff. It's definitely a different era.
I have to read this text. Alden in Nashville says, Davidson County itself probably has more Titans fans. Have many friends who are UT and Titans fans, but would still give it to the Titans. This is Alden from inside D-Mace's house.
I guess my dogs are going to bite you out. That's a good one.
You know what I do find, though? When I go to a Titans game, I feel like there's a lot of people from surrounding counties that are in the seats, especially in the upper deck. I feel like these are fans that I don't see. Like in a smaller venue, I feel like sometimes you have a nucleus of fans that you kind of come to familiar, and they're wearing a high school jersey or something from that sort of gives away that they're local. But I feel like there's people that make a pretty good trek to come see Titans games.
Yeah,
is that
I
fair
do
to
too.
say?
Yeah,
like they've really tried to market throughout the entire state.
But I think this text is true. Just a few years back, the apathy for the Titans was a big deal. They almost lost the city. Vols fans stay true. I can't really argue with that.
No, I think that's true.
Because I think college football fans are more. They will tolerate a lot more than say like pro fans. Because it's not just I went there, I got an education there, I met lifelong friends there, and whatever the case may be. Or if you didn't go there, you're just like, I grew up watching them. You know, I went to the game with my parents and all this other stuff.
You got
so
these childhood memories.
Exactly.
Coming up next, the Predators are in action tonight against Tampa. Start of a back-to-back. I guess technically they'll be the visiting team tonight, even though they're playing here at Bridgestone Arena. We'll look at the rosters for that game. And also, the Athletics done their predictions this year for the Nashville Predators. But first, Derek, tell us about BetUS.
And that I am. It's the beginning of the sport week. Thursday is, to me, always the beginning of the sport week. This is when you need to start getting your bets in because it's Thursday night football, NFL, or you got college football that comes on Thursday night. So the best way to get your bets in is to go to BetUS.com, which is back for their 28th year of NFL action with the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%. BetUS offers their members the opportunity to cash in on all their favorite leagues, including NFL, NBA, MLB, and more. They've got hundreds of new casino games, including the coolest European slot, and their dealers are there waiting for you at the table. These are live dealers, so they're ready and waiting. You need a sport book with integrity and longevity. You need to know that you will be getting paid. You need a sport book that offers everything, and I mean everything, including live betting, MMA, golf, horse racing, esports, yes, video games, people, and all kinds of crazy bets. So call today at 1-800-79-BET-US. That's 1-800-79-BET-US, and they will walk you through setting up your account. Nobody, and I mean nobody in the industry gives better bonuses than BetUS. Join now and mention the greatest radio show, sports radio show in town across the U.S., 1025, and you can get up to 200% in bonuses on your first deposit. Nobody beats that. So head on over to BetUS.com and join today. That's BetUS, where the games begin.
Titans on threes. 1, 2, 3. Tannehill takes it in himself for a Titans touchdown.
The Titans finally got in the win column on Sunday after defeating the Raiders to improve to 1-2.
Yeah, it was huge. You know, the full team win, running the ball well, making plays in the pass game.
Now, they have their first division matchup against the Colts.
Talking Titans.
What answers will Mike Vrabel and company have for them?
Vrabel said it. Still won on the road.
Keep it locked to Nashville's best Titans talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Football is back, and so are the deals at Electronic Express. Get tailgate ready with great deals on all of your favorite brands like Whirlpool, HP, Sony, iRobot, and more. Electronic Express has huge savings in every department: computers, appliances, 4K TVs, smart home, furniture, mattresses, and more. Save up to 40% with up to 36 months free financing. Shop in-store or online at electronicexpress.com and get free express delivery on most items. Electronic Express. We make football season happen.
There are jewelry stores, and then there's Genesis Diamonds, the cutting-edge industry leader, the pioneer. It's no secret that jewelry stores across America watch what Genesis is doing. Genesis was the first to offer a free lifetime warranty, the first to offer a 110% diamond upgrade guarantee, the first to offer aggressive long-term zero-interest financing. And Genesis is always on the cutting edge in design and fashion. The styles other jewelers say are new and exciting were new and exciting for us 4 years ago. Genesis has the fashion-forward brands other stores aren't even allowed to carry. It's no wonder you see jewelers from other cities coming to Genesis to see what we're all about, and even buy their wives' jewelry from us. For selection, quality, service, warranties, and guarantees, Genesis leads. Others follow. So for diamonds, engagement rings, exclusive designer jewelry for any occasion, don't compromise. Come to the jeweler that sets the industry standards year after year. Genesis Diamonds and pre-owned Rolexes. Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Hey everyone, it's me, Michelle Knezovic. Join me Saturday at Lucky Duck Lounge in East Nashville for the SEC Game of the Week presented by bettinghero.com. They're going to help you enjoy your experience betting on mobile, and hey, they might even buy you a beer. Fun starts at 2:30 Saturday. Can't wait to see you all there.
We gather together in communities across the nation to remember and honor, to celebrate and support, to light the night. We are LLS, and when we walk, cancer runs. Find your local event at lightthenight.org.
Listen to Stillman and Company with me, Caroline Fenton, all season long on ESPN 102.5 The Game for your chance to win Nashville Sounds tickets, courtesy of 312 Pizza Company in Germantown.
Jonathan Hutton.
You have to put the ball in his hands in that moment.
And Chad Withrow.
My kicker's making no decisions on a football team.
Are in the game. Join them for NFL postgame after every Titans home game, live from Landshark Bar and Grill in Margaritaville on Broadway. They'll break down that day's game and look ahead to the next one. NFL postgame is presented by Two Rivers Ford, Renter's Warehouse, and Superbook Sports on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, it's Max Kellerman, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McKay, Willy Downing, Garrett Mason hanging out. Bridgestone Arena, Predators and the Lightning here tonight. It is a Predators game day here at Bridgestone Arena, and that is presented by Social Furniture in Charlotte Pike. Shop today to get rewarded with social cash back. Buy $1,000, get $125 cash back on your Social Furniture gift card. Shop local, shop social in West Nashville. We are going to talk Preds, but we do have our trivia question for today. And so you must give us 3 of the 4. But this is a trivia question. We'll do this off the air. 615-737-1025. On the line, a pair of tickets to opening night here in Smashville against the Dallas Stars. Can you name 3 of the 4 players on the current roster that have played for all 3 Predators head coaches in their history? So they played for Barry Trotz, Peter Laviolette, and John Hines. You must give Nick 3 out of the 4 of the current players that have played for all 3 head coaches in Predators history. 615-737-1025, the first to get that right. We'll go see the Preds take on the Dallas Stars here at Bridgestone Arena on Thursday, October 13th, because hockey is back here in Smashville. The roster is out, Willie, for tonight. I want to pass this along as well. Tomorrow, after the game, they're going to have the Global Series send-off that I know is going to be a lot of fun. The game starts at 5 o'clock, so don't forget the early puck drop tomorrow. Then they're going to have player interviews on the bench at the end of the game. They're going to show Behind the Glass on Fang Vision. About 8:20, they'll do another player interview. At 8:45, the team is going to walk through the concourse, and then 9:15, that's when they're going to get ready for departure, when you guys will head to Switzerland. I have been told that one Coach Pekka Rinne, is going to address the crowd. So Pekka will be a part of things as well. But the game tonight, got the rosters out, and it looks like the goalies tonight, Willie, I think is kind of interesting for the Predators.
Yeah, they put the goalies out there, and so it will be Kevin Lankinen and Connor Ingram. I was actually on a radio show in Edmonton yesterday, and it was a lot of league talk, and one of the things that they saw, now think about Edmonton's perspective, right? Mike Smith has retired. They are going to have new goalies, and they need depth. The goalies have been a big question mark for them. They've got the superstars in McDavid and Draisaitl. They signed Jack Campbell, right, to play. They picked him up from the Maple Leafs. So they're always looking for the bargain. So what were they asking me? Who's going to be the backup, and then what happens to the extra goalie? There is an extra goalie here. If it's Kevin Lankinen, if it's Devin Cooley, if it's Connor Ingram, they don't have enough room in Milwaukee. You know UC Saros is going to be here, and you know Yaroslav Askarov is going to be in Milwaukee. So you got a backup here, and you got another guy in Milwaukee, and you got 5 really good goalies plus Vomachka, who's is another guy who's got some decent talent, decent tools. He's really not in the picture now. So they were asking me, is Connor Ingram going to get waived, and would he be a really attractive pickup for somebody? I think that is possible.
Yeah, I do too.
Because I still think Lankinen has got the advantage because he was the guy that they went out and signed, and he's got the guaranteed contract. Connor Ingram doesn't make as much money. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, but you see them both showcased tonight. So Lankinen was pretty good in his first outing in the game on Monday night. So let's see how he backs it up tonight. Not quite as much of an advantage, I think, in the D. You've got Yossi and Ekholm, who played together at practice yesterday, and I wonder if that's something we'll see tonight.
Yeah, they're both in the lineup. Juuso Parssinen is in the lineup tonight, which I think is interesting. He's had a very good camp, and I think he's making a case right now.
I would venture to say it'd be very surprising if he's not with the group that goes to Europe.
Yeah.
He'll be in that group for sure.
Afanasiev not in the lineup tonight. So, and I kind of feel like those two, it's going to be one of those two that are going to make the roster between Parssinen and Afanasiev. You agree with that?
Well, and I think, as we talked about yesterday, I think Parsonen's got the leg up right now. I do think they really like Afanasiev. And remember, they may not have to make that decision when they leave. They could, in theory, take them both to Switzerland. We'll find out. But, yeah, I think I would imagine you'd probably see Afanasiev tomorrow since he's not in there tonight. I think, they're probably not going to have a lot of the guys playing back-to-back games. You might have some of the younger guys do that. So it'll be an interesting thing to see what the roster looks like tomorrow as opposed to tonight.
Which two fits better to what the Preds are trying to do?
I think with the role, I think with the role that they would want that guy to play, I think Parssinen, I could see being a really good force on the bottom six, and that's really what you're looking at. The other thing to keep an eye on is Tomasino going to jump up and grab that second line spot? We all think he's going to get the first crack at it, but he's got to earn it, right? He can't just you could earn it on day one, but by day 21, you run cold and you got to try something else. So that's something to watch for tonight. Is who does Ryan Johansson play with? Does he play with Niederreiter and Tomasino again, or do they make a change on that line? It's not anything close to a full roster tonight. I think you're going to see, if you look at the names on there, you're going to see a lot of guys that are going to end up in Milwaukee, but some depth guys.
But, I mean, Tolvanen's in. So
Cody Glass is in there tonight. Cody Glass is a very interesting
John
one.
Leonard is in. Cole Smith back. But, Michael McCarron. So,
Zach Sanford is another guy that I'd like to see a little bit more from. I'd like to see him, flex his muscles a little bit on what he can do.
On the other side of Tampa, Stamkos Kucherov in tonight. Victor Hedman in tonight. Former Predator Grant Mismash, or Farmhand, is in.
He was the guy in the trade for Ryan McDonough.
Yep. Corey Perry is in tonight. Alex Killorn, Braden Point. So you're going to see a lot of the main guys for Tampa.
Those are the main dudes right there.
Yeah. And then Brian Elliott and Jack LaFontaine, the goalies for them tonight for Tampa. So there you go. All right. I believe we have a winner to our trivia question. Joseph got it right. The 3 of the 4 players on the roster now that have played for all 3 Predators head coaches. Who did he say, Nick? Who were the 3? We've lost Nick.
He said Ekholm, Forsberg, and Sissons, I believe.
Okay.
All right. Well done.
Yossi would have.
Roman Yossi is the 4th.
So there you go. Roman Yossi, Philip Forsberg, Colton Sissons, and Matthias Ekholm, the only 4 left that have played for all 3 head coaches. So congratulations. You're going to opening night against the Dallas Stars. Coming up next, we will look ahead to what Stillman and Company, as Jared sets up lights, what they have going on. He's a scout. He's Coach Jared. He's getting his Twitter account back, and now he's setting up lights. He can do it all. We'll do that coming up next. Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. But can you beat Vegas this football season? I try to. Superbook Sports gives you the chance every week to go head-to-head with the best odds makers in Las Vegas. They have no fancy computer algorithms, no guys across the pond setting lines for American sports, just the best team of odds makers in the business behind the counter at the Superbook in Las Vegas. I like the Dolphins tonight, plus 3.5 on the road. I think they continue their winning ways in Cincinnati. Even though I think Cincinnati wins the uniform battle, I think Miami will win the game. Plus, Superbook features some of the best odds boosts and promo bets anywhere. Download the Superbook Sports app or visit superbook.com and start your battle against Vegas right now. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789.
Every Wednesday at 2:45.
Sanders for the touchdown, 48 yards.
Former NFL wide receiver Chris Sanders joins Stillman and Company to give his thoughts on all things Titans and NFL. Fueled by Parman Energy, now hiring fuel drivers. Apply now at ParmanEnergy.com on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Jared Stillman.
If you get 3 games where he doesn't turn the ball over, you're going to the Super Bowl.
Caroline Fenton.
I don't know if he would be open to joining another team.
Stillman and Company. Afternoons from 2 to 6.
Presented by TriStar Moving.
On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus. Another beautiful day ahead of us here. After a warmer start by about 5 to 10 degrees, the afternoon will be a little bit warmer as well. Highs in the middle 70s with unlimited sunshine. Next rain chance comes on Saturday.
Brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face truck today.
Are you getting hit hard with higher costs and higher interest rates? Is your credit card rate going up every month? Hey, Willy Donick, how'd you like to wipe out those credit cards before the holidays? Call Loan Pronto. Your home equity can rescue you right now. Your home's value is still way up, and there's a ton of cash that you can get. Loan Pronto specializes in zero-cost cash-out home refis. Get tens of thousands in as little as 2 weeks. Pay off credit cards and consolidate everything into one super low payment. People who do this usually cut around $800 from their monthly budget. And even if your home mortgage rate goes up a little bit, it's offset by your credit card rate going to zero. When rates come back down, Loan Pronto will refinance you again for free. Call Loan Pronto. Do it now. You can even skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
Men, are you asking yourself questions like, why am I gaining fat? Why is my energy or sex drive down and maybe haven't been getting the exercise you need? If you want to get back to the man you used to be but just don't have that youthful energy, that edge you once had, you very well might have low testosterone. Low T causes all kinds of issues, from a reduced libido, lower drive, and bad sleep patterns to problems with muscle gain, bone density, and more. It may even contribute to erectile dysfunction, and if this sounds like you, it's probably time to get treated for your low T. At the Tennessee Men's Clinic, we've treated thousands of men for low T. We've seen them put on muscle, add to their energy, improve their sex lives, get better sleep, and just feel better. Plus, if you're like most men, you'll see results in only a few weeks. So make an appointment today and experience how testosterone therapy can truly change your life. Your initial appointment is only $99 with results in minutes. Call today, 615-208-9090, or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatments extra, results vary.
I'm ready to step this up a notch. You're listening to Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. We're live at Bridgestone Arena. Predators taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight in the first of 2. This game, of course, was originally to be played in Tampa. They moved it here, but one thing the Predators and the Lightning are doing tonight is they're having an auction to help with Florida hurricane relief efforts. So text PREDS to 76278 to view the items and to bid. Some things that you can bid on: signed Nashville Predators jerseys, signed Tampa Bay Lightning jerseys, and a trip to Tampa to watch the Preds take on the Lightning on December 8th. So some cool things that you can bid on and help hurricane relief down in Florida. Earlier today, Todd Downing addressed the media, and we were discussing this, that Teron Davenport basically asked him, kind of his thoughts of people that are calling for his job. And I'll be honest with you, I was pretty impressed with that answer. Here's what Todd Downing had to say.
Maybe Todd has.
I don't know if you follow, all the things being said about the team, but, as soon as there's a struggle offensively, they say, fire Todd Downing. When you're getting blamed for everything, how do you handle that and just continue to keep your head down and do what you have to do?
Yeah, I will tell you very bluntly, I can't pay attention to all the stuff that's going on out there and all the opinions about me. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and I respect the fact that people have jobs to do and people to find to place blame on and all that. I know that I'm responsible for the offense. I know that there are certain things that come with this role: responsibilities, critiques, and kind of constant evaluation that comes with this role. But I can't afford to let somebody else's opinion cloud what Coach Vrabel thinks of the job I'm doing, or what John Robinson thinks of the job I'm doing, or frankly, what the players in the locker room think of the job I'm doing. I owe it to them to give my best. And in that process, I really try hard to maintain my identity. I work my tail off, and I do it for a bigger audience than trying to get the praise of man. I don't really do this job to be celebrated in the media. I do this job so that I can be the man I'm called to be in the role that I have, and hopefully I can continue to improve in that at every turn and help get this offense where we want it to be.
Todd Downing, when asked about his job, basically, and again, I like the answer. I think that he owns some things. He owns some things maybe he shouldn't have to own, but for anyone's going to say that, oh, I don't pay attention to it, I can't pay attention to it. Yeah, you do. You know. I mean, it's human nature. You know the noise that is out there. Now it's what you do with it.
Exactly.
Is you can tell when people just get stuck obsessing over it and can't let it go. Right now, I kind of feel like he's just pushing it to the side.
Well, he has to because you got to understand there's several dynamics going on here. Tim Kelly's in the building.
Yep.
Not to say that Tim Kelly's going to take his job, but Tim Kelly's in the building. And he has a history with Mike Vrabel. And Mike Vrabel brought him in here to help with the passing game. So, if you're not doing the necessary things to make this a good offense, then, eventually Vrabel's going to have to, go in another direction. And it seems like the easiest landing spot would be Tim Kelly because he's there. They know each other. He knows what he wants from an offense or whatnot. But, listen, I'll say it now. I said it back then. I will continue to say it in the future. A coordinator is only as good as the personnel and as good as you execute the play. If a coordinator comes here again, Bill Seifert, name any of these great offensive minds. Name any of them. They come here to this Tennessee Titan team and they call plays, and guys are not doing what they're supposed to do. It's not going to work. It's just, I don't care what you do, it's not going to work. I can call the best play in the world for the right time, but if guys don't execute it the way it's supposed to be, that play is not going to work. People talk about his play, that whole, reverse with the tight end, sweep with the tight end. That play is not designed to get 100 yards. It's designed to get you the first down.
Right.
Where if a guy that's sitting there on the edge, if he does exactly what he's supposed to do, which is block down, then that play works and you get 2 yards. It was 3rd and 1. You get your 2 yards. Nobody's complaining, you know. Nobody, you know, you complained about, well, why is it, you know, you seem so predictable. Why are you running Derrick Henry 3rd and 1? Why didn't you run Derrick Henry 3rd and 1? Well, they ran Derrick Henry 3rd and 1 last time, and they didn't get it.
Right.
Is that a bad play? No. Did they block it wrong? Yes. But no one's going to say anything about that. You're only as good as the execution. The offensive coordinator is only as good as the execution.
And at the same time, I do think every offensive coordinator knows that when things aren't going well, he will be the easiest guy to blame everything on.
Sure.
And I think you heard that in his answer. He knows that it just goes with the job description, and he has to put that aside and not let that cloud his ability to move forward and try to do the best thing that he can. It's like the hitting coach in baseball. Show me a team that goes into a team hitting slump. Who are they going to flock to? The hitting coach, which is the most thankless job in Major League Baseball. At least the offensive coordinator in football can get hot, maybe because he has great players sometimes, and get a head coaching job out of it.
Exactly.
Right? That's the double-edged sword, is you probably, like the quarterback, get a lot of credit when things are going well, maybe more credit than you deserve, and you get more blame than you deserve when it's not going well. So I really liked his answer. I thought he showed that he cared. He didn't just brush off the question and act like it was no big deal. Why are you asking me this? I think he understands the weight that's going on and where the team is right now. But let's also remember, too, that he's had a lot thrown at him, a lot of curveballs, issues with the offensive line. He didn't trade A.J. Brown. The team traded A.J. He's trying to make it work with Treylon Burks. The passing game so far, statistically, has been really good. The biggest thing that hasn't happened yet is the running game. And so that's the next chapter coming up on Sunday.
He got to have hippo skin. He's just got to have that thick skin where it just doesn't penetrate, man.
Mikey on Twitter says, news flash to Todd Downing, God isn't happy with your play calling either. Do we know that to be true?
Exactly. Twitter's just so wrong.
Can we confirm
but
that?
His audience is the owner, the GM, the head coach, his players, and then it is the fan base. Because eventually, you know, if the job's not going the way it needs to go, the fan base will get louder and louder and louder. And what happens? The owner ends up asking the head coach, you need to make a change.
Right.
You know, so.
That's, to me, how it happens sometimes. The owner who doesn't really know football that much, they're the ones that hear the noise more than the actual coaches.
Let me ask you this, Derek. Bud Adams is still around and still the owner. Is Todd Downing still the offensive coordinator?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I mean, how can you know? He was a wild card.
That's a good one, man. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean,
now he never did it.
No.
When I don't think midstream did he? Did they make a coordinator change in the middle of the season?
Not when I was here. They've never. Not when I was here. They never.
Not
made
offensive defense.
They coaching changes, but. No.
Right.
But that was like at the end of the year.
Yeah.
That was at the end of the year when I was here.
Chris Palmer, he's right. Chris Palmer.
Well, I wasn't here with Chris Palmer.
But was that a Bud Adams or was that just Mike? Was it Mike Munchak that was the coach?
Munchak.
I don't know that was dictated from the top. Especially at that stage of life for Mr. Adams, I think he was really getting up there.
True. Derek, is
I
everything good?
I don't know for sure.
Is everything good at your house?
Oh yeah, everything's fine.
We had
everything's fine.
Wes in Clarksville.
Dogs okay?
Wes in Clarksville wants to know why there's a Dylan Radins poster in your room. So that's a walk.
Hey, how you find that poster?
Stillman and Company coming up next. They'll continue this discussion on Todd Downing. 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
We out.
You love the game.
Predators win it in overtime. Touchdown, Tennessee.
We live the game.
My quarterback needs me to step up.
He can make a defense pay.
We got pass rushers.
Checkered flag in the air.
Awesome Game 7.
What a stop made by UC Sarah.
The game.